that we remember Australia's foundations, but we remember in a way, as an Aboriginal person, that our people went through some of the hardest times known to mankind. Yes, it was the 1800s era, and all over the world was in chaos. Our people here were uprooted and sent all across the nation. We are descendants of this original tribe, Taran Rusker, my nephew here, and myself. Even though they shifted us out of Brisbane City, somehow, somewhere, our elders were resilient and we survived. We are not the only products in Australia from that. There's people in this teams that are also descendants of those things that happened. And those things we must not forget. But we have a chance, Australia, to turn the page. We have a chance to make a circle. Our people work in circles. You see it in our paintings, all around everywhere. And that circle, we can meet and start this country by having us all there, even Stevens at the table. Yes, they call it a word now. And that word is called treaty. It's something that we're working towards. As traditional owners of the it gives us great honour to be able to deliver these speeches, to still do what we do as culture. And also, you should ask yourself, how far can we go? And when I say that to you, I mean understand the truth of what's happened in this country, but I believe that we can walk in two worlds. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Welcome to the land of the Yagara and the Turrbal people, Brisbane City. Repeat it after me, the welcome word, Biki Karamba.
Yes, thank you, Shannon, for today's welcome to Yagara Turrbal land.
There was an expectation from all that there was going to be a little bit more to that as the players all linked up, and I think they readied themselves for the anthem. But now they're being told to disperse.
He played a couple of games for Brisbane too, Shannon Rusker, who's a super player up in the territory.
Yep.
And played a couple for Brisbane. Many. I think he might have even gone to the Doggies at one stage. I'm not sure he played a game for the Western Bulldogs, but he's a bit of a legend up in the territory, Shannon Rusker, and has a bit of power attached to that speech.
Great words, great oratory. Signet of power in the commentary team for the upcoming game. Stay charged with Signet. So, Sando, refine it down for us. Give us your final words for Buy My Stock. Got excess stock? Visit buymystock.com.au.
Well, I think we'll see a fun game today. And when I say fun, I think we'll see a high-octane offensive game. I feel like, in the words of McVeigh, unlocking our potential in offence means we're going to see a team that wants to take the game on with so much talent against a team, Brisbane, who we know is exciting. They are fast outside the contest. Their ability to run and provide options for their small forwards. So my gut feel is we'll see Brisbane try and make a point that we are a great offensive side and try and stop us. But the only thing I'm concerned about with this GWS side is their ability to defend for 4 quarters. So I think there'll be some moments in this game where it'll be high scoring and the Giants have to try and arrest that momentum back. But it's going to be a cracker. I think we're going to have fun calling this game.
I hope you're right, yeah.
But when Brisbane rarely, it's really hard to stop them here at the Gabba. It's a really big, wide ground. They use it so well. If you prevent them going through the corridor, they'll take the ball outside. And if you try and go man-on-man with them and prevent them from getting those exit kicks wide, they just come straight through the middle of the ground. So, as I said, they've got speed, they've got excitement, they've got so many options in the front half to score goals. It's whether the Giants today can prevent them from getting that fast offensive game that they want. But I think the Giants will try and do that too, so it's going to be great.
Charlie Cameron, Kitty Coleman and Callum Archie at the toss of the coin, and Bobby Hill on the other side of things for Sir Doug Nicholls' rounds. The Hill won the toss. And the Giants will kick to the left of screen in this opening term. That was the pre-game show for Thirsty Camel Bottle Shops. Answer the Camel's call. Thirsty Camel Bottle Shops and Beaumont Tiles' huge sale is on right now. And Giants games. This one is brought to you by Bingley, Australian family owned for more than 65 years.
No one brave enough to tip the upset, are we, around here?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if some of those little levers they pulled last week can pay off again. And I know you should never read into how sides were named, but, you know, Riccardi being named in the back pocket as well. Obviously, he's going to play forward. But, there's going to be plenty of stories coming out of this game with, you know, if we see Himmelberg play well again across half back, or if they need him to go forward again and score. You know, Jared mentioned about Hipwood. Has he got the ability to, you know, get back to his pre-injury form?
What's Toby got for us?
Yep.
You know,
McStay's the other one too.
Yep.
You know, there's a lot of murmurs around about what his future looks like. You know, he needs to play well for the Lions as well.
So they take up their positions under bright skies in Brisbane. The opening bounce is coming for Tyre Power. Tyre Power, tyre safety experts week in, week out. The Giants coming off a first-up victory under Mark McVeigh. The Lions off a rare defeat in season 2022. They convene in round 11. It's the Lions and the Giants on AFL Nation, and you're with Andy Marr.
We'll keep you up to date with everything going on around the grounds for Kangan Institute 1-3 TAFE. And if you're a Hoops fan, Miami has forced a game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals. Jimmy Butler, 47 points today against Boston. A monumental performance by him. But all our eyes turn to the game here at the Gabba. They're underway down at Kidinia Park. We'll keep you across that as well. And in beautiful conditions, we're away. Flynn got the early jump, but it's the Lions with the first hands on the footy. And Niels had his hands on the Sherrin a couple of times. He fumbled. Canelio gets it going now. Green runs to 45. Gets a look straight away, pushes it out to the right and scrapes it through for the first score. It's a behind on the Robot Building Supplies. Robot's got its scoreboard, but bright start for the Giants. One behind, Brisbane yet to score.
Rich nudges it into play. Mark taken by Gardner. There's what's going on here? It's just things weren't as they should have been with Rich and his opponent interfering with the mark. So Gardner to be reset with the footy. Andrews was on the loop around, but Bobby Hill was awake to the danger. So a static play as the Lions look to bring it outside of defensive 50. And Gardner chooses the near side. He sliced the kick, so it's going to come up very short of where it was intended to land. Pryor is onto it, though, and he runs the contour of the boundary. Guides the Lions beyond halfway. There's nothing home for them. It sits for Taylor to gather, and a sweeping hand pass forward for the Giants. Himmelberg wore the contact that was coming and got dragged over the boundary.
Perryman in the midfield for the Giants, which is something we haven't seen that much of. Normally plays across half-back.
Keep an eye on that to see whether that's something else that the McVeigh coaching staff will persist with throughout the day. McInerney and Flynn again, ground level. It was shucked by Bailey, but he didn't make the attempt. He had the opportunity, and Canelio has been engaged early in the contest, wins the free kick. Moves into the corridor, takes on the kick straight away, and does nicely. Peatling, one of the revelations last week. Across the ground he goes as they switch the lanes of attack up towards Cumming now, who takes the mark at half forward. Can't move it on quickly, has to stop and prop, looks to come inboard. Again, they'll switch the lines of attack to Iden. Just the attacking side of the centre circles. He'll go short again as they continue to just move it side to side. Himmelberg, 2 kicks away from goal. Now the numbers have got the Lions back. He tries to wheel around Fort, drives it into the pocket. Who can jump and fly? Out the back, it was Bobby Hill, who took almost an uncontested chest mark. In the end, the major pack misread it. Andrews got nowhere near it with a fist. And Hill, from about 20 metres out on a tight angle, takes the mark. He'll swing out into the corridor. Across the body he'll go with his left foot. He'll practice millions of these, and he makes it look absolutely elementary. So all of the early attacking here being done by the Greater Western Sydney Giants, and they got the first couple of scores on the board. It's 1-1-7 GWS. Brisbane yet to score. Robot Building Supplies it's been a bright start by the visitors.
And Andy, I have to eat my words. Riccardi is playing across half-back. He's set up behind the ball as Himmelberg has as well. So two of their forwards for most of their journey so far with the Giants have set up across half-back. And I reckon Perryman, I said he's in the midfield. I think he actually is running with Lachie Neale. So I thought that might be De Boer. But you got to respect Bobby Hill with his aerial. He's only small, but he jumps at everything. He's a nice little player. And a good finish too. Confident to go on the left foot. Just rolled around on his left foot and snapped that one through. Good start for the Giants.
I think De Boer might have gone to Rich by the look of things.
Yep.
1-1 to nothing. The Giants lead early. Flynn knocked it down to the side and then continues on. McInerney just did enough to dispute it. Canelio fed it forward to Perryman in the tackle and dumped by Neale to turf. It's at half forward for the Giants. Oscar McInerney onto it. He bounces it through centre field. Hipwood with a clever tap for Rayner. Found a passage through. His kick's a bit of a grubber. Charlie Cameron makes good. Caresses the footy on the left boot. Couldn't find Fort. Sam Taylor was taken to ground without the ball. And the Giants will just hold up in defence.
I think then Jared is a bit upset with himself with that short kick turnover at Cameron and followed it up with a free kick against.
Taylor into the back pocket for Iden. They're pretty well manned up ahead, so it'll have to be a long kick to a contest. Right down the interchange wing. Bob Hill on the fly. He didn't hang on. He probably should have. Rich underneath with a hand pass up. Gardner's dragged out over the boundary by Hill. Throw it in at halfway.
It's a good leap.
He does fight everything, Bobby Hill.
You feel like he's only scratched the surface at the moment, don't you? There's more to give as he continues to mature. It'll be fun to watch him find it. So it's Flynn and McInerney. McInerney gets to the front spot. Bailey, the handball out to Berry, around the body under pressure, up towards half forward. In front, Fort. Keith gets the ball to Grant Cumming. Handball, good gather to Canelio. Started brightly in front of Lyons. Takes the 10 metres available to him. Down the line he goes, but he missed the ball with a kick, and Andrews, the intercept to Gardner quickly to the arc of defensive 50. Just hangs it up a little bit for Bailey, who had time at half-back. Switches. Ainsworth misses the kick. Chance of a turnover. Toe poke. Ainsworth the chance to butter up. He does. Clean hands. Makes amends to Pryor, but his kick's right in the middle of a couple of teammates and cut off by Ash, who marks just the attacking side of wing position. And now he moves into the corridor, plays on, drives it up towards full forward. Who can mark? No one. Ball finds its way to ground level. Andrews, first one there, overruns the footy. Sproul gets hands on it, gives it to Green. Green kicks the goal. So jittery start here from Brisbane. Their ball handling's off, and the Giants are making them pay. Green gets his first, and the Giants have got the first two on the board here. 2-1-13. Brisbane yet to have a look at it.
Yeah, their forward pressure's been really good so far, the Giants, and they're just competing ahead of the ball. I was going to make the comment, when you do change your forward line around a lot, you sometimes lose that little bit of synergy about where players are setting up and where you need to kick the ball. But the first few inside 50s have just been to a contest, and we've seen Sproul and Hogan competing for the ball, and that time it was just the ability to be able to get on the loose ball. And Andrews, uncharacteristic fumble, and you don't have to give Toby Green too many opportunities close to goal. He's always going to make you pay, but nice start here to the Giants.
Yeah.
Makes it interesting.
They're running hot for Ream, steady, hot and strong. 2-0. Robot Building Supply scoreboard, Robots got it. McInerney up high with the tap and then the gather, but Perryman had him once he brought the footy in. Secondary ball up. It's Fagan in the dugout, as we know, down on the boundary for Snaffle. Bite-sized payments win. Berry feeds a hand pass away from the congestion. Out to Robertson, who gave it to Answorth. He took a little bit of time to get away, but get away he did. Shared it with Gardner and got it back, and now Answorth with a chance to drive the Lions forward. It's a short pass to Zorko, right on halfway. He has a look at the targets deep, and he's going to give them a look. About 30 out from goal and into the pocket. Iden defended well. Onto it, though, comes Archie. Outside of the boot, ran it at the face of goal. He tried to soccer it through, did Pryor, but it was well defended on the goal line. And a rushed behind conceded. 2-1 behind on the Robot Building Supply scoreboard. Robots got it.
It was good defence by young Jacob Weir, who was under pressure, as Jerry called, and he did nicely to kill the danger. And Himmelberg, he launched a taunt last week and he goes for it again. He doesn't get anywhere near it this week. Hopefully he doesn't put it away. After that miscue, Rich takes the mark in the middle of the Gabba and he'll turn the Giants around. He drives it to about 35 and it was a lovely lead from McCarthy, who marks and will go back from about 40 out on a slight angle. Beautiful kick, Daniel Rich.
Well, that's what we saw Steve Johnson going through with the Giants players just before they came out into the ground was their kick-ins. And he had the big arrow going down the middle of the ground from Himmelberg. So I wonder if that vision was going through to the Lions change rooms as well. They were able to see what to predict.
Further out than I first thought. He's going to kick from right on 50 here. Such a great pick-up for them. It's a nice-looking drop punt. And it's a beautiful kick. And just steadies a few things down here for the home side early. It's 1-1-7 Brisbane, 2-1-13 the Giants on the Robot Building Supply scoreboard. We're here for Tyre Power and McDonald's.
Because what they do so well, the Brisbane Lions, is their ability to turn forward half turnovers into scores. And it's not always to the tall forwards. I mentioned that in the pre-game. They use their small forwards so well, like hitting up here. And this time it's McCarthy, but it's been Bailey. It can also be McCarthy. They're just so good. Cameron, they're so good at hitting up these small forwards. They just lower their eyes. They don't bomb it in. We've seen the difference already. Giants are going to kick it long to a contest high. Brisbane are going to try and punch that ball in low to those small forwards.
Brenton Sanderson for buymystock.com.au. Giants by a goal. 14 minutes remain in the opening term on the Makita Rulby Outdoors clock. Straight high bounce to work with. Fort wins the tap and the follow-up. He trickles the ball forward but not terribly far. The Giants are able to haul it in. Kelly shares it with Himmelberg coming off half back. He kicks to the wing. De Boer offloaded. Ball picked up by Coleman. He's got support in ball. The hand pass wasn't great. Neil got stripped of the footy initially. He had time to regather and send them forward. It bounces up at half forward just at the laces of Hipwood. Ash with a loose hand pass inboard. McCarthy's onto it. Hand pass to Neil. Kicks up the full forward. Hasn't given them a great look there. It's tied up underneath. And it will be balled up. Keith actually trapped that ball basically between his shins.
Can you be holding the ball when it's trapped between your ankles?
If you deliberately did it,
I think
maybe you can. Rayner on the fly through the stoppage. He was held up. Had to go backwards to Neil. Further back to Berry. Dinks the kick to the teeth of goal. Gives them a jump. Pryor plays Crummer. Kick was charged down. It's loose 15 out from goal. Sproul got dragged off it. Hipwood with a snap. It's not on line. Robertson trapped it back, but it hit the behind post. Out on the full.
Frantic footy 15 metres out from the Brisbane goal. 15-20 players were all thinking they're a chance of getting it at some stage. They're Bruin with a free kick. Goes short to Kelly. Across the face of their own goal, 15-20 metres out to Himmelberg. Changes the angles again and goes to the member side of the ground. Finds Cumming. He sees something further afield that he likes, and the kick's perfect to Hogan, who marks the attacking side of centre wing. Comes into the corridor. Ball movement's good here. It's a chance for Green. Goes towards centre half forward. This is slick stuff. It ends up with Kelly. He should kick the goal, and he does. That is magnificent football from GWS, who zigzagged their way down the ground. They kept finding the loosest Sando, and the finish from Kelly is what you'd expect. It's 3-1-19 GWS, 1-1-7 Brisbane. We'll make that a host plus. That's a plus goal of the game.
They did that really well. Their ability there just to be poised, controlled, mature with the footy. They didn't rush any of those possessions. That was nice, calculated ball movement from half back, and that's a goal from a D50 chain, which will really upset the Brisbane Lions coaches staff. That's you shouldn't allow them. Even at the Gabba, such a big, wide ground, almost like a set play. They were just able to zigzag the ball across to the open side and lower their eyes through the middle part of the midfield. You can't give Kelly too much space in the front half either. He's going to make you pay every time.
Great looking replay for Easy Debit. Join Easy Debit today from a Giants perspective. Fought against Flynn at the centre bounce. Giants by 12. Middle stages of this opening term. Again, a lovely bounce to work with. Flynn tapped it back over his head to Kelly. Released it to Perryman. Shot it away to Toby Green, who worked it out wider. Clever little tap out to Cumming. It came from Brander. He kicked to full forward. Tom Green flew in the pack. No mark. De Boer underneath. Hand passed away to Peatling, who took the snap. The Giants have got another. They've got the flyer. 4 goals in rapid time. 4-1-25 to the Lions, 1-1-7 on the Robot Building Supply scoreboard. Robot's got it.
Well, it's quite basic, Jared. What they're doing here, anytime they're sort of more than sort of 50 or 60 metres from goal, they're just putting it to the top of the square. They're getting genuine contest aerial, and they're getting their crummers in the right positions. And the Giants know exactly where the ball's going, so do the Brisbane Lions, but it's just going to be the ability to try and bring that ball to the front, who's going to win that hot ground ball. And to start this game off, it's been the Giants who have been better at that ground ball hunt, and they're making them pay with scoreboard pressure so far.
Gee, the safety steel shed stats, 6 times they've gone inside 50 at GWS for 5 scores, Sando. They are making a mess of this Brisbane back half at the moment. So Flynn again, Fort jumps under the footy, and Flynn takes it clean out, bounces it up towards centre half forward. Is there holding? Hill may have had a claim for it. No, said the umpire. Quick kick out of defence, but it might be coming back. Perryman first there. Read the bounce better than everyone. Gives it out to Brander. Comes in towards centre half forward. It's a lovely kick to Peatling, who's got involved in the game. He sees something he likes straight away. That's more like it. Coming back defensively was Adams, and he takes a really important mark for the Brisbane Lions, who are under siege here early. 25-7. Adams' kick is quick, and Pryor wasn't ready for it. And the ball dribbles harmlessly out of bounds, about 75-80 out from the Giants' goal. AFL Nation for Tyre. Power by 3. Get one free on selected Falcon tyres and Maccas. Score up to 20% off your order when you spend $10 or more. Kelly to Brander. Gets around the would-be tackle a bit too easily from Zorko. Gets it to Cumming. Bounce it. There's loose players all over the place ahead of the footy. There a chance again here. The mark was almost taken by Hogan, and then a high tackle against Starcevic on Peatling. And they are a rabble defensively at the moment, Brisbane. They're all over the shop.
Actually played that pretty well, Andy. Peatling, he sort of felt the contact was going to come, and he just dropped his knees a little bit in that contest, and it was unavoidable there for Starcevic. In his endeavour to tackle, he was always going to go high with the contact.
Pennant Hill's kid, he was good last week. He'll kick from about 40 out on about a 45. And he pushes it out to the right. It comes back and sneaks in. Peatling's kicked 2 in 2.5 minutes here. And it's starting to get a bit alarming. 5-1-31 the Giants, 1-1-7 Brisbane.
They've got to do something, the Lions. They are just on their heels. They're just more hungry, I think, at the contest at the moment. The Giants side, they're first at the footy. They're making less mistakes. And they really want to get on every ground ball that comes inside forward 50. And it wasn't copybook set shot either. I think it might have come off the outside of the foot, but it just drifted back nicely. Looks a likely type, Andy Peatling.
Good, yeah.
He's had a good game last week, and already 4 disposals, 2 goals. Safety still sheds, James Peatling. Sometimes you just get a chance when a new coach comes in. You just get thrown into the deep end, and he's answering those calls.
And suddenly it's a tense afternoon ahead for Lions fans. Tap comes the way of Neil, who will win the centre clearance. He's played it out to the wing for Berry. He takes the mark. He thought about the quick release hand pass and pulled it back. He will kick up inside the 50 instead. See what they've got on the lead. Knocked away from Charlie Cameron. Robertson is dispossessed underneath. Clever work by Lions out into the pocket. Neil kept it in one-handed right against the boundary and then threw it. So it didn't quite work. He might have been better to take the boundary throw in. So the Giants with a chance to bring it out of defence. Kick out of the shadows into the sunshine for Ash. Ash links the hand pass to Himmelberg, rushing by. He'll play the interchange side of the Gabba. No mark taken by Taylor, but that's okay. They're loose at the back. Swooping on the footy and delivering forward. It's a lovely kick from Hill to Brander. Brander wheels out onto the right. He probably was within range. He fluffed the kick. It lands 10 out. Andrews met it hard in defence. Hand pass to Berry. Now to Hipwood. Guides the Lions out to half-back. A kick that misses its target, and it's back in dispute. Cameron beaten hands down by Cumming, who strides away, blasts it back inside. What have they got in the air? Reaching up. No mark taken. Flynn, that's right. He plays Crummer as well. Hand pass didn't find a target. Derry made high contact. It was Canelio who put his head over the footy, and a draping arm got him high.
That was sloppy, Jared.
That was ugly, wasn't it?
Yeah, just quite switched on defensively at the moment, the Lions. They're just first at the footy at ground level, and they're just giving away some clumsy free kicks close to goal, which would be really frustrating the Brisbane coaching staff.
So for a 6th goal, just beyond the halfway mark of the opening term, Stephen Canelio marches with purpose. Let's fly on the right boots. It is a blitz. It's the orange peril for Brisbane right now. It's not who you play, it's when you play them. That boring old side of a few weeks ago, they're electrifying right now. GWS 6-1-37, Brisbane 1-1-7. Robot Building Supplies scoreboard. Robots got it. Down the highway, Geelong 1-1-7 leading Adelaide 5 behinds for Kangan Institute 13 TAFE.
Well, they've just got to adjust their spread and hunt at ground level, the Lions. They're getting beaten to the contest. They've got an inability to be able to tackle without giving away a free kick at the moment. It's just as simple as that. They're getting beaten in the midfield. They're getting beaten at ground level in their back half. They need to show some leadership here. They need to dig in. They need to fight out this last 8 minutes of the first quarter.
It's easy to see stuff to suit your own narrative, but every possession the Giants are getting at the moment feels purposeful.
Yep.
They feel like they've got a plan, and again, they go forward directly out of the corridor. They're running in numbers. Green goes into attack, misses the target. He had one wide open. Ainsworth under pressure. There's 3 Giants around him, and they trap it inside forward 50. It's straight directed goal. They're hitting the loose man immediately. And they're taking this game on, and they look $1 million. Berry had the feel for it, got the quick kick, tumbles it down the corridor, but again behind the footy, it's all the Giants. Taylor to Himmelberg, who's having an impact down there, finds himself in a bit of time and space, has a bounce, sees the short, he doesn't get there in time. Sproul, he gives the free kick away to Robertson, takes the advantage, plays on through the tackle, kicks it to about 40. Cameron got rid of his man Taylor, thought about going, and the umpire said, I'll give you that half a step to reconsider, Charlie, and he goes back from about 30 out directly in front.
Well, he's the one that was going to step up, wasn't he? Charlie Cameron is such a brilliant player, and Sproul gives away the free kick, and they just take the game forward. Gets the mismatch in height, but just outbodies Taylor. Taylor out of position and just leans on him. Such a smart player, Cameron.
Oh, he must kick it really. Early stages need one, and he does. So it's one of those days there. Both look like they're in good scoring nick. It's perfect scoring conditions, but it's been done predominantly by the Giants so far. Cameron follows McCarthy. That's their second 2-1-13. The Giants have got 6 on the board. They lead by 24.
Yeah, that was just simply the stabiliser they need just to get a bit of momentum or wrestle back a little momentum. And he just came on the back of probably a poor decision by Himmelberg. They've been so direct towards goal to open up this game, and that time they just got a little bit cute with the kick outside and kicked the ball short to a 50-50 wide. Turnover, free kick against, and put the ball out in space with Cameron one-on-one with Taylor. Beautiful finish.
12 inside 50s to 6 in the Giants' favour. The safety Steel sheds. 6-1 plays 2-1. 6:50 to go in the term, and the Makita rule the outdoors clock. McInerney wins the tap, taken by Canelio, off to Tom Green, a float at a half forward, it works. Toby Green takes the mark. He's too far out himself unless he rolled out his best barrel. He will get going out to the right. He cribs a little bit toward the 50. He gives it the line. Oh, he wasn't too far out at all. Toby Green strikes with his seconds. A moment of intuition just to take the extra ground that was there, and the instant answer. 7-1 to 2-1 on the Robot Building Supplies scoreboard. Robots got it.
Well, we saw Dusty Martin do that last night when we probably felt Jerry was a bit too far out to score as well, but because of the stand rule, when you're this close to goal, when you're about 55 metres, you can you can just roll to give yourself a little bit more momentum on your kick, a little bit more power in your kick. He ends up kicking it from right on 50, even though he was originally, the mark was set about 55 metres from goal. But the number, though, for safety steel sheds, centre bounce clearances are 7-1 in favour of the Giants. That's where the Lions have got to get back on top.
Oh, it's interesting stuff. It's been great to watch, unless you're a Brisbane fan. Flynn, McInerney, ball to be won once it hits the deck line, grabs the footy, tries to flip it out the back to Oscar, has to go down low to get it. He gets the free kick. That was sloppy from Kelly. The advantage taken and given. Rayner gets it back to Lyons. Slung in the tackle by Canelio. Ball spills free. Green tries to find Cumming. He's in the middle of it all. Ash is in there as well. Taylor with the 13 handball. Cut off brilliantly by Neil. At centre half forward for the Lions. It's there to be one. Green almost got one in the back. Out to Robertson. Around the body. Chance and mark taken by McStay. It was a ball to be won, and it was frantic stuff for about 20 seconds. Robertson got the footy around the body. McStay was in a hole, and he marks 25 out directly in front.
Yeah, it was almost turnover after turnover there, and they just couldn't quite get a clean possession, either team. And it was just a quick kick forward by Brisbane that landed in the right spot for McStay.
He should kick it. They're 9-2 collectively. He comes in, and he does. And it's goal for goal all of a sudden here. 3-1-19 Brisbane, 7-1-43 the Giants. Robot Building Supplies scoreboard. Been going nearly 25 minutes into the opening quarter.
Yeah, he's hot property, McStay, obviously a free agent this year, and every side looking for a key forward, and Brisbane Lions have got a few of them, and McStay is just in the right place at the right time here. He's kicked, well, that was his 11th goal of the season. McStay's such a good player. Beautiful left foot kick. Unfortunately there for the Giants, big Lockie O'Keefe was just caught out of position for the quick kick, and strong aerial contest by McStay. Goes back and kicks the goal.
AFL Nation for tyre, powered by 3. Get one free on selected Falcon tyres. 24-point lead the Giants' way. Looking here with a ferocious loose ball gets. And a big hand in that. McInerney goes against Sproul. Neil onto it again. Hand pass forward to the player. There's nobody there, though, for it. Sproul came out of the ruck to gather and guide the Giants out across half-back. The lateral kick was okay. Brander was just knocked over as he was going to take the mark. So Brander at right half-back. Inside the final 5 minutes of the opening term. He kicks from half-back to half-forward. Hill has a rise. No timing about it, though. Hooked overhead by Riccardi. The way of Tom Green. Then to DeBoer. And now to Bobby Hill from the boundary. Pinned the ears back and missed the locks.
He had a quick look inside, and he just sprayed it for goal.
Was he trying to bring it back, do you reckon, or was he having a shot?
He had a quick look inside to see if he had any free targets, and then he wanted to have the shot. But, geez, they're running in numbers. They're flow. It's really good, really exciting from the Giants.
Ainsworth brings it back, member side of the ground, outside defensive 50. Taylor with a big spoil over the top of McStay, and we'll have a boundary thrown about 70 out from the Giants' goal. 7-1 plays 3-1, 26 gone opening quarter. Makita clock, tyre power, and Mac is bringing you the AFL Nation coverage from the Gabba. It's Sproul who works his way to front. Canelio's been busy. Dispossessed. Should have been a free kick. Rayner explodes out of the contest. That's what he can do, but the kick was poor once he got into some running room, and it's cut off by Taylor out of sight of the ground. Half-back flank. True for the Giants. He takes his time and goes back down the line. 2v2. McInerney with a big spoil. Finds its way to Neil. In towards centre half. 40 goes. Can't take the mark. Hipwood Bale. He's been quiet. Gets the crumb from 55. What a kick. He had one or two steps to balancing himself up. And the finish was a thing of absolute beauty for Host Plus. That is a plus. Bailey gets his first. Ward's in the hands of the trainers. Brisbane have got their fourth on the board. 4-1-25. The Giants 7-1-43. Robot Building Supply scoreboard.
That was a fantastic shot for goal. Geez, Ward, just watching on the replay now.
Got the knee of Hipwood right in the side of the head. That is a grim replay for Easy Debit. Join Easy Debit today.
Oh, right on the cheekbone too.
That's horrible.
That's going to sting. It's a great finish by Bailey. He's inside the centre square when he kicks that. So that's gone at least 55, 60 metres plus. He's been an important player for him this year, Bailey. And
no wonder they call him Cement Head.
Yeah.
You don't get up from that.
No way.
Giants now by 18. McInerney just about threw that down underfoot. Cornelio had to release it in a hurry. The Giants are going to prevail. Sproul came in to lend a hand, kicked up to full forward. Oh, they're out on the back. Tom to Toby to goal. The Greens combine. Toby with his third. And the instant reply out of the centre square. Chris Fagan is irate. 8-1 to 4-1. Robot Building Supplies scoreboard. Robot's got it.
You don't see quarters of footy like this in 2022.
8 goals, 149. We've seen that as total scores this year in a lot of games for the Giants, but they just can't get their aerial right defensively at the moment, the Brisbane Lions. Well, that's the second part. The first part, they can't win a centre bounce clearance. Every time the ball gets bounced up in the centre, it comes straight into the Giants forward line. And they are all at sea defensively here with their aerial work, the Giants. And as I said before about Toby Green, you cannot let him get a possession inside forward 50 because he's going to make you pay. And 3 goals, 3 minutes still to go in the first quarter.
Answorth on Toby Green. No.
He's having an absolute nightmare. McInerney hacks it out of the middle up towards half forward. Bailey again, first one there. Held when he didn't have the footy. He continues to play on, drives it across the face of goal. I was going to suggest he was going to the top of the square, but I suspect in the end he was having a shot. And he missed by a long way. Taylor with a free kick. Quarter time at Kardinia Park. It's Geelong by 10, 16 to 6 in a game of vast difference to this one against Adelaide. For Kangan Institute, Berry cuts the kick off at half forward, goes back inside 50, and in the middle of about 5, McCarthy unmarked popped up and took what should have been a contested mark, but in the end it wasn't, and he'll go back from about 30 out as good as directly in front.
Yeah, that's a lapse in concentration by the Giants defenders there. And said before, they do this so well, the Brisbane Lions. They just punch the ball inside forward 50 there. They never really dump it in. And it's where their small forwards are so good aerial. They just come across, and this time it was McCarthy that picked that one off.
He's kicked 1. He should make it 2. This roller coaster in opening quarter continues. He has extraordinary stuff. 5-1-31 Brisbane, 8-1-49 Greater Western Sydney Giants, and we've still got plenty of time left for a couple more in this opening quarter for Robot Building Supplies.
Well, we've seen 13 goals scored already in this game, and we talked about it in the pre-game. Could this be just an offensive game for both sides? Both teams just taking the game on, and every time the ball goes inside one team's forward line, they just go back and kick a goal. It's just been such an entertaining game to watch so far.
There can't have been a higher scoring quarter than 80 points this year, can there?
No way.
No.
So we sit here and love it. Fans love it. There's 2 people who hate it.
Coaches are hating it. Our listeners will about that, but we'll see both of the coaches will storm out about their defence and about their inability to be able to prevent score. But we're having the time of our lives calling this.
Great fun.
Giants by 3 goals. Back in the middle. Sproul against McInerney. McInerney clearly wins the tap out in front of the play. Cornelio had first touch, couldn't do anything with it. McCarthy to Bailey as they link it up. Lyons caresses the kick and onto the chest of McCarthy again.
It's his 3rd or 4th mark inside forward 50 already, McCarthy, and it's pretty much whoever wins the centre bounce gets an inside 50 mark at the moment, or an inside 50 shot at goal, and it's all based around contest and clearance, but at the moment, both forward lines are well on top.
A chance to join Toby Green as a 3-goal kicker in this opening term. Link McCarthy. From 40 out directly in front, that's dead straight. And this scoring spree continues unabated. Now 6-1 to 8-1. The Giants by 2 goals in the Robot Building Supplies scoreboard. Robot's got it.
Yeah, we could see then just from the contest the ability to be able to get the quick hands, just a little chain just to release lines. And I've said it in almost every Brisbane line inside 50 so far today. They just lower their eyes. They just punch the ball in, look for that leading target. McCarthy's so busy His leading patterns are excellent as a small forward. And he's been fantastic. 3 goals. What a shootout.
See, you get a game like this, and the modern player and their skill set is remarkable. I mean, there was a genuine contest in the middle of the ground there. Well, this is not uncontested footy that's getting won, and yet the 3 or 4 possessions that led to the free kick in from line, they were just magnificent examples of the skills of the modern player. We're underway again. Maganut, they're going forward again here, Brisbane. There can't be much longer to go in this opening quarter, but who knows what we've got left. Kelly at centre halfback sweeps the handball out to Ward. Now to Cumming. He goes up towards half forward. That wasn't one of the good kicks. Gardner comes at it full chested. Rich to Answorth. Finds Berry in a bit of time and space. He goes quickly up towards Rayner. They turn around again over the top to Zorko. He's been quiet in this opening quarter. Wraps up his man. Gets him. It's coming. It's going to be holding the ball. Well, the umpire says there was no prior. In fact, he says there was a high tackle. Well, didn't see that. Need the easy debit replay to help me out. Cumming gets the ball moving quickly to Kelly, wrapped up by Berry, pins him and drives him, and the ball doesn't come out. And the umpire says, I'll ball it up. Replay shows Zorko just had a right hand right on the point of the shoulder, so interpretation for the umpire can be defended. Up towards half forward we go. Gardner can't mark, ball to ground. Gardner goes in and gets it in, wrapped up by Hill, swung around a couple of times, but it wasn't coming out. And the umpire says, give it to me.
36-minute quarter with 26 seconds still to go. Sproul punches it out the side. Berry dragged off the footy. I wonder if he had it. Neil hand passes it to him. He was still sitting on the turf. Zorko was happy to run that out of play.
Yeah, Kelly asking about the fend-off there. Keen to know whether it was fair enough or not. The umpire said it was.
Ready for the boundary throw in. Giants slightly the attacking side of middle. McInerney controls it in front, taps it down, sets off in pursuit himself, taps it out over the boundary. He was dragged down by Sproul without the ball. So Big Oscar with the free kick. He is outside the boundary in his defensive side of the middle with 8 seconds to go. He's going to chance his arm up toward the 50. He gives it the lot. If they could mark it, they'd get a shot here, and they do. Fort stands in the pack. Immovable, reaches high, and this quarter still has 1 score remaining in it. Fort's goal kicking has been exemplary when his moment has arrived. He's just talking to the umpire about lines and not transgressing. He's angled to the left. He's every bit of 50 metres out from goal. Darcy Fort hops in, lets fly, monstrous kick. It drifts across the face late and is hammered into the field of play. No further score. A 14-goal opening term. It must be one of the highest of the modern era. 86 points in total. The Giants 8-1-49. The Lions 6-1-37. AFL Nation for Icon Services, commercial cleaning and integrated property solutions.
That quarter on AFL Nation was for Tyre Power. Save on Kumo. Store-wide super sale now on.
It's mayhem at Barbecues Galore with huge savings across the range. Up to 50% off this week only. Don't miss the Barbecues Galore huge mayhem sale now on.
Every interview and every show. Listen to the podcast now. Just click the catch up button on the SEN app.
Safety Steel. Time to get real.
Tim Watson here. Can you remember as a kid painting goals on the side of your dad's shed and shooting for goals day after day? Well, they built them tough back then, just like the sheds from Safety Steel. For prefab steel kit buildings and custom designed sheds that are tough and durable, search Safety Steel. For your dream shed, search Safety Steel.
Safety Steel. Time to get real.
Jetfire heaters from the makers of trusted Australian brand Spitwater are highly efficient, robust and very portable. Industrial, LPG and diesel-fired space heaters. Jetfire heaters come with a fully automatic safe ignition, providing instant reliable heat and are Australian Gas Association approved to the latest safety standards. With distribution, sales and service centres located in Brisbane, Sydney, Albury, Melbourne, Adelaide and Perth, and authorised dealers in all major centres throughout Australia. Call 1-800-SPITWATER now or visit spitwater.com.au today.
Respect is calling out your mate's sexist jokes.
Respect is equal pay on and off the field.
Respect is championing equality in sport. Respect is working together to prevent violence against women.
When all women are respected, everyone wins.
Respect women. Call it out. Search Respect Victoria to learn more.
A message from Respect Victoria and the Victorian Government.
If you're craving a combo, head into Coles Express and grab a delicious Coles Express hot pie with no added hormone beef, plus a selected Coca-Cola drink variety for just $6. Craving a combo? Express yourself at Coles Express. Product and store availability varies. Offer ends June 1.
You'll never miss a moment with all of your favourites live on KO Sports. Every match of the NRL and AFL seasons, as well as every F1 race live and ad break free during play. The NBA playoffs are also heating up, and it's the biggest season of netball ever. That's right, all the big hits, high-flying heroics and buzzer beaters ready to watch anywhere, anytime. How good is that? New to KO? Start your free trial today.
Hear the major moments in sport crystal clear anytime, anywhere on the SEN app.
Bouncing! Oh, don't tell me! Goal!
Djokovic a mile back and he smashes into the net!
On air, podcasts, live sport, news, video content, your city, your town.
Oh my God!
Download the SEN app from the Apple and Google app stores. It's also available on Apple CarPlay. The SEN app, your home of sport, from wherever you are on the planet.
Hello, Frank Walker from National Tiles. Check out National Tiles' all-new Italian and Spanish floor tiles on our website now. Your new home or renovation will look absolutely stunning in any one of the 25 all-new European floor tiles. Currently available for immediate delivery, but you'll have to be quick. These all-new stunning European floor tiles are walking out the door. So rush to order online or in-store at National Tiles now.
Eat good and feel good with rolled Vietnamese.
Did you know that excessive trans fat found in most processed food can impact heart health? Rolled banh mi baguettes are a healthy takeaway option with only 0.3 grams of trans fat per serve.
You'll love the bowls. They're an easy couch meal for the family. And for a quick snack on the run, you can't go past a banh mi baguette or rice paper rolls. So when you or the family's hungry, forget the junk, go for rolled. Healthy goodness. Order on the app now. Roll fast, fresh Vietnamese.
You're listening to the 2022 Premiership season on AFL Nation for Beaumont Tiles. Hybrid flooring in store now. Maccas, I'm loving it moments. Order via the My Maccas app and start earning today.
Andrews first one there, overruns the footy. Sproul gets hands on it, gives it to Green. Green kicks the goal. It ends up with Kelly. He should kick the goal, and he does. That is magnificent football from GWS.
No Mark de Boer underneath. Hand passed away to Peatling, who took the snap. The Giants have got another. They've got the flyer. 4 goals in rapid time.
Finds its way to Neil. In towards centre half. 40 goes. Can't take the mark. Hipwood Bale. He's been quiet. Gets the crumb from 55. What a kick.
What a quarter. 8-1-49 Giants, 6-1-37 Lions. I'm loving it moments for Maccas. Score 20% off your order when you spend $10 or more, Brenton Sanderson.
Yeah, fantastic first quarter. So much entertainment. Brisbane would just slow out the gates. The Giants jumped and Brisbane were just fumbling, second to the footies, sloppy against with free kicks, and Giants made them pay, but this is going to be a great game.
Opening bounce of the second quarter for Tyre Power. Your match day favourites for Tyre Safety.
Perryman off to Toby Green on the fly, delivered inside 50, but Andrews against the flow takes the intercept mark. Spreads it out to Gardner from the defensive 50. His pass is a short one, and Robertson has footy in hand. The Cats by 22, early stages of the second term. down the highway over the Crows. That is around the grounds. The Kangan Institute, 13 TAFE. Kick up to Adams and on to Neil. The Lions in slow mode. That was hammered away from Zorko. A good arrival by Perryman. A good intervention, knocked it over the boundary to be thrown in.
Best I can do to help you, Jared, not in the top 20, the combined points total of those two in the first quarter. So that's a bit disappointing, isn't it?
Disappointing.
It is a little.
It was rollicking good fun, though.
It was good fun.
Better than an afternoon at Dreamworld. Had the throw in. McInerney knocks it down and then ended up with it. I think he wished he hadn't. Tackled by Flynn, dispossessed. Tom Green and Lockie Neal fight for the footy underneath. Zorko, a hand pass didn't amount to anything. Ball it up again.
Just in that game, though, Andy, it was Melbourne against North Melbourne, 1991. 9 goals, 1 to 9 goals, 1 first quarter.
It's been good to be on duty that day. Toby Green throws it onto the boot at the stoppage. It doesn't take a Giants turn, though. Rich released by the hand pass, kicks up to full forward. Charlie Cameron, he's got it. He throws it onto the boot. He trickled it across the face of goal. Couldn't quite get enough purchase on the kick. Taylor out of the back pocket for the Giants. Hand pass to Ash, being pursued. Had to get the kick away. Overkicked his targets. They'll be happy to get the boundary throw in out on the wing.
Sproul providing a nice little foil for Flynn, and hitting up hard was the one that took it over the line for the Giants. So we'll have a boundary throw in. Connor Iden's got his hands full today with Charlie Cameron doing a pretty good job so far. McInerney wins the tap. Shark by Tom Green. Kelly gets it out to Perryman. Quickly on his left boot up towards half forward. Sproul again comes hard at the footy, takes the mark. Good lead up. Natural forward into the pocket he goes. 1-on-1. Hogan, Andrews. Andrews gets it to ground. Gardner sees it over the line, and he's wrapped up hard by Peatling. And Starcevic didn't like it.
It was quite a dangerous tackle. He had both arms pinned and took him over the boundary line almost head first.
Gardner, a bit of a face plant. The umpire said, nothing to see here. We'll have a ball thrown in. 48 out from the Giants' goal. Flynn, McInerney, they lock arms. Umpire said play on. Good umpiring. Handball from Neil finds its way to Robertson. High ball up towards the wing, outer side of the ground. McCarthy, first one there, under pressure straight away from Ash in front of the interchange gates.
And you mentioned Sproul. It's a really good ruck duel today. Flynn and Sproul versus McInerney and Fort. It's obviously Fort spending some time forward, and so is Sproul. But this is a really good matchup in the rucks.
Around the grounds for Kangan. Geelong is starting to put a bit of space on the Crows. 5-4 to 0-6 down there as Brisbane go forward. But Taylor is very natural and calm down there. He goes short to Kelly. Ball was almost intercepted, but Kelly favoured by the crumb. Gathers, has a bit of time and space, kicks it just in the nick of time, was favoured by the space and time he had, and finds Hogan.
Hogan is going to just lay it off to half forward. Peatling led up to him. Now for the incision inside 50. Not yet. Coming through the centre square, risky. Himmelberg had to haul it in. He's going to switch to the near side now for Iden. Will he mark and roll? He does. It's a shallow entry, though. It drifts into the pocket. It clears Hogan. Has to be dealt with underneath. Hogan turns tackler, holds up Answorth, and they'll ball it up.
I'm surprised there, Jared, because they've been going directly to the top of the goal square, and that time they entered inside 50 wide and shallow.
Shadows the right forward pockets. McInerney won his way to the footy. Archie handled it out of play.
What's going on here? 4 minutes without a goal. It's ridiculous.
Well, the over-under is 2 goals in this quarter once the correction is
correct.
made.
That's the way it works, right?
Yeah, 14 in the first. My over-under is 2.5. Deep forward for the Giants at the throw-in. Tap down to the fronts. Toby Green's kick is smothered. Hogan can't get anything to it other than it bumbling out of play.
Yeah, hopefully these coaches don't interfere with what was a fantastic opening quarter of footy.
Highest scoring opening quarters at the Gabba this century. Yes, we found a marker.
There you go. We're in the book.
Well done.
Nice work.
Well done.
Ball thrown in over the top it goes. Hands on it first to the Lions. Finds its way through to Lockie Neal. Bit of time and space. Drives it out of defensive 50. Puts it in front of a couple. Zorko and Himmelberg. Zorko tries to flip it out the back to Pryor, but the Giants were calm and composed. Kelly. Himmelberg did nicely, and then he wore one from Adams, Himmelberg, and he's not happy with it. He gets up okay, but he was wide open and caught one right down the middle. And it will be a free kick. It's going to be taken from whence it landed. It's going to be Sproul. High ball, floating ball into the pocket, but it was favouring no one in a similar jumper. And it was easy pickings for Harris Andrews, who shares the handball now to Starcevic as they sweep to the near side back pocket. His kick set it up for 2-on-1. Riccardi the crumb. The handball was poor. He was going to a set stationary Kelly, but it was easily intercepted by McCarthy. He got it to Cameron. He goes back to Adams, who's got a bit of time and space and slows it down.
Giants by 12 still. A long way backwards. Andrews out of the defensive goal square. He's going to play the outer side with a perilous ball. It bounces just short of Pryor. He's got his problems. Bobby Hill knocks him out over the boundary. Throw it in. It's not the worst result for Pryor, who must have wondered how he was going to get out of a spot of bother. Boundary throw in for Snaffle. Bite-sized payments win. Left half forward for the Giants. Flynn and McInerney form up. Tap down underneath. Lions first access. Turns out onto the right boot and hooks the ball down the wing. Rayner was felled by Himmelberg. Umpire said within 5 metres of the drop zone, so Himmelberg's been paid the mark. Laterally, Ash took his eyes off it. Oh, he's opened the door for Charlie Cameron. Hand pass to Rayner. Gives it off to McStay, then to Zorko. They're going to get killed up ahead. Charlie Gardner raced on and he kicks it for Hipwood in the right forward pocket. Lockie Ash will be looking for a hole to crawl into.
Just those front half turnovers, they do cost you going back the other way because the defence is not set. You see the mismatches ahead of the ball then as soon as that turnover occurred.
Eric Hipwood looking for his first goal of the season. Third game back. He's set up to hook this around the corner. Hipwood on the move. He's got it. That'll be good for the soul. For his teammate, Charlie Cameron leaps into his arms, and from the door in Gabba crowd as well. It narrows the margin to a goal. Brisbane 7-1-43. The Giants 8-1-49. Athena home loan scoreboard.
Yeah, well done to Eric Hipwood. And that first goal on the back of a 12-month ACL rehab recovery would have felt good. And you could see him after the goal. He turned to the crowd. He was pumped, and the teammates went straight to him too. They know all the hard work that he would have had to put in behind the scenes to get back. And it's a nice kick, left foot, little snap. Well done, Eric Hipwood.
Around the grounds for Kangan Institute. The Crows have got a couple back here. 5-5 the Cats. 2-6 Adelaide. So 17 points the margin down at Kardinia Park. 6 points the margin here at the Gabba. Bounce down. Favours McInerney slightly. Canilio was wrapped up straight away. Flynn in the middle of it. Handballs it. Out to Perryman, who tumbles it up towards half forward. Hitting it hard was Hill. Controlled the footy beautifully. Gets it to the ball. The kick was poor. Scrubby in towards the corridor. Well read by Ainsworth. In fact, it was Robertson. Gets it to Ainsworth. Gardner skating along the boundary line on his left foot, but only as far as Brander, who got rid of Adams pretty comfortably in the end. 55 out. Pokes it to the top of the square. No one can come at it. Berry in front of Riccardi. Takes a good mark. Gives it to Coleman. Generally a beautiful kick of the footy. That's no exception. Straight down the corridor. Gets it to McStay. Back to Coleman. 3 bounces through the middle of the Gabba. Puts it into the path of Archie, but it was a poor kick, giving him a rap, and Iden stood his ground and took an important defensive mark.
I couldn't believe they'd come away with nothing there. Yeah. Kick out to Ash at half back. He's going to play the Giants particularly wide as they'll look to set up over at left half back. It's the second highest opening term of the 18-team era, behind Sydney and Geelong in 2013.
Okay.
So highest scoring this century at the Gabba and second highest scoring of the 18-team era. So a couple of markers. The Giants have turned this over though. McCarthy got it from Coleman, gives it to Robertson. Kick was smothered. It was good work by Cumming to save the day. He's going to give away 40 metres with an expansive kick backwards to Iden, but he'll be able to run it out the near side and have a bounce and spy Keith at right half back. He takes the 30 up ahead, drills the pass to Toby Green. 3 goals in the opening term. His defensive side of the middle, the pantomime villain.
He's done nothing to deserve that today, has he?
Carries a certain reputation, Andy. He drills the pass up to Tom Green, who probes a little further afield. Mark taken by Peatling, who's been busy so far, right to the teeth of goal, and that's strong hands from Riccardi. It was a relatively innocuous lob, and Riccardi just vice-like in his grip.
They should have done more with that, the Brisbane line defenders.
Absolutely they should have.
So much time in to get set up, and Andrews is sort of scanning for his teammates. Whereabouts were you? But that was another lapse in concentration defensively in the air by Brisbane Lions defenders.
Jake Riccardi from full forwards extends the margin back to 12. His first goal of the afternoon. And good goal kicking at both ends. 9-1 to 7-1 on the Athena Home Loan scoreboard. We got a little sight down on the boundary for Snaffle bite-sized payments win. So the sub, Xavier O'Halloran, warming up.
I don't know where the issue is with one of his teammates. We'll get that to you as soon as we can. But, gee, the easy debit replay. He was just standing still there, Riccardi. He didn't even have to move into that footy.
Well, typically there on Andy, you'd expect to get your wingmen rolling back, your midfielders rolling back. It allows your defenders then to come off and help support in the air. Harris Andrews will be disappointed that, number one, he didn't get a spoil in, but number two, he had no third man up support from his teammates. And we've seen that both ends today from both defenders. Just can't quite get the timing right on those spoils defensively.
9-1 plays 7-1 Athena Home Loan scoreboard. AFL Nation for Tyre Power and McDonald's. Fort favoured by the bounce. Bailey kind of felt for it a bit. Ash, Kelly, nice work defensively. The handball to Perryman stood up bravely and strongly in a couple of tackles. Green, who's been prolific. Tom, wrapped up by Answorth, holding the footy, didn't get rid of it correctly, and Answorth's going to win the free kick. Just involved in a minor little skirmish with Jesse Hogan. He does like a tough Noah Answorth. It was a good tackle. Gets it to Neil. Pokes it down the line to Berry, who stands up in front of Weir and takes a good mark. Out of sight of the ground. 2 kicks away from goal. 12 points. The margin in he comes. Just clears De Boer and finds Starcevic on the logo. In front of the interchange gates. Nothing obvious immediately. So he now goes long and strong in towards the pocket. Asks the Flyers to come at it. Taylor got a fist over the boundary line. It goes. And the throw in as O'Halloran readies himself. It's Cullen Ward who's come off. I wonder whether that's an after effect of
concussion.
Yeah. Hopefully there's no break. Wouldn't be surprised. Such was the nature of that collision. It was pretty fierce.
Gardner was fearless, going back with the flight of the ball to take the intercept mark on the wing for the Lions. He uses it short to Berry. Giants by 12. That was a hanger of the day for its sheer bravery, thanks to hangmytv.com.au. Short pass to Coleman. So the Lions look for the line of attack, and they found it as Charlie Cameron drifts up on a lead, wide out 45 from goal.
It's really hard to keep Cameron out of the game. He just keeps presenting on those leads, and they're so good at finding him. They obviously practice that, look to block for each other and release those smalls. Very rarely do they go to a tall target inside forward 50.
Now a test of accuracy for Charlie Cameron. Wide out on the right. It's out across the face of goal and will be knocked back into the field of play initially. It skittles around. Taylor gets hold of it. Tried to clear the area. Bobby Hill tipped it away toward the boundary. Gathers and did a neat sidestep out over the boundary. Looked like he was trying to create the play. He was desperately trying to get it out of bounds. Well sold, young man. Well sold. 9-1 to 7-1.
It was deliberate with a capital D, and there was lack of intent with a capital L and I. But the umpire said throw it in. That's what he does. Flynn gets the better of it. Lions have got good representation at ground level. Pryor hoists it high, just the required distance. Ball spiked to the ground. Robertson's been busy enough. Gets the handball over the top to Bale, who's having a quieter day. Cumming gets the footy, drives it down the line. Pack flies. Hogan goes in, takes a player out. Adams felt that. Coleman threads his way through some traffic, gets it to Neil. Little poking ball in towards centre half forward, couldn't find its target. Weir's there, handball over the top to Himmelberg. Very comfortable down there. Himmelberg gets it to Iden, back to Weir on the left, around the body, high ball off the side of the boot. He was pushed as he kicked it. I don't think that was the intent, but the umpire says it certainly was, and Brisbane, you're going to have the free kick. So a bit unlucky there compared to the one on the other side of the ground. I reckon Berry goes into the full forward zone. Himmelberg was there again. Flynn roving, wrapped up by Hipwood and McCarthy. It's not coming out, and we'll have a ball up about 30 out from the Brisbane goal. 7-1, 9-1, 2 goals kicked in this quarter after a 14-goal opening extravaganza.
9 to play on the Makita Rule, the outdoors clock. Cameron tracked the ball at the stoppage. Berry lends a hand back to Cameron, but by the time it arrived, he had a heap of company, and he's forced out over the boundary. Didn't like the treatment that he got. He flung a boot, which is hardly an ideal strategy. Umpire just tells him to go back to the neutral corners. And it will be thrown in. 35 out from the Lions goal. McStay cleared the way, took it out of the ruck, shared it with Neal, then to Berry. High ball up to full forward. Grappling was Archie, put the fist into it, kept it free. But the Giants were well aware, and Weir was onto it. He spreads it to Hogan, working all the way down in defensive 50. He clears the defensive area. Ash is on the fly. He takes the ball and guides the Giants beyond halfway for Riccardi. Just holds it up. And in the opening turn, they were prepared to roll and go under orders. Kick up to half forward, landed short of Toby Green and didn't give him any chance to create. It is out of play. 8 minutes to play in this second term. Brenton Sanderson's your expert this afternoon for buymystock.com.au. 60 out from the Giants' goal. Lions dominating the hit-outs. Fort reaches around, wins the tap. Canelio off the ground. Onto it is Bruin. Hand passes to Kelly and gets it back. Bruin sets them up to full forward. Hogan brought it to ground. De Boer hurried it onto the boot, kicked it straight into Coleman. Coleman with a steady head. Off to Berry. Then to Gardner. Caressed the kick to 40 away, and Charlie Cameron's working everywhere.
He worked hard to present an option for his defenders under pressure there. It will be appreciated by his teammates deep in defence. Looks to come inboard, such as the attacking instinct, but he goes down the line instead. In the end, McStay came hard. Nice body work from De Boer. Got rid of Berry. Green comes hard at it. Toby wins the footy, but then gives away the free kick for not getting rid of the footy appropriately. Answorth has a little win. Goes across the ground, inside defensive 50 to Andrews. Hogan sort of wandering around aimlessly on the mark. There was certainly no standing still. He must have worked back off the initial mark, unless the umpire just wasn't paying any attention. Bailey gets the footy down the line, takes the mark, gets it to Coleman. Now, if you're a forward, you get interested. He's such a beautiful kick. He pokes it into the pocket, into a one-on-one. The mark should have been taken. Maybe a little bit of tunnelling there against Keith to Pryor. The umpire said, yes, that is exactly what happened, and Pryor will take the free kick.
It's just a little bit clumsy then by Lucky Keith. He didn't really... He's obviously got the height advantage. He just
a foot taller.
Just could have just put a fist in, but wanted just to get underneath him and push him forward in the marking contest.
Sando, you look at the replay of that, and that's just kind of dumb.
Yeah, clumsy is what it was.
Well,
Amy Clanger.
Yep. Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, that'll do.
Just covers Clangers. Amy
put
does.
A fist straight through the footy.
So Pryor will kick from about 48. Tight angle. He tried to work it right to left, and it was just a bit shallow. The shape of the footy was good. However, 7-2, 44. Been waiting for the third behind for a while. 9-1, 55. The Giants on the Athena home loan scoreboard. How's that over-under looking for goals in the second quarter?
It's giving you a good run. 6 minutes to play. Himmelberg leaves the goal square, hammers it in up straight as per the whiteboards. Hipwood up to make the big defensive spoil. It's got to be one underfoot. Zorko swoops. Oh, yes, they're going to hurt them on the way back. Cameron takes the mark, and without hesitation, he missed his target. Archie in the pocket. Archie gathers, still has space. Low down, couldn't get it there. Himmelberg took the flying goalie spoil and knocked it through for a rushed score. They're down by 10.
Here we go. Whether they go back down the middle again. That was their strategy pre-game. They've changed it now to Cumming. Looks like he's going to go wide and long.
I reckon I've
down the
unlocked
middle.
their system. It's the first kick in of each quarter.
Yeah, you're right.
They turn it around. McInerney hoists it high back inside forward 50. Big double fisted from Himmelberg. Only as far as Neil stands up in the tackle. Misses his man. He's looking for pride. The handball comes out to Kelly. It was nice work from Himmelberg. Canelio's gone a bit quiet this quarter. Gets this one to have a bit of space in front. Has a bounce run. That's a shocking kick. It was looking to kick the cover off it as he tried to get it down the line about 60 away. But the execution of a man of that skill set was poor. And it'll be a free kick. You make that a clanger two for Amy if you like. It wasn't one of his better efforts, and Darcy Gardner now with the free kick plays on. The Arca defensive 50, wing position out of sight of the ground. Fort was up in front, ground level. Tom Green's been terrific again. Tries to find Kelly, who was under pressure. Neil getting busier, as busy as anyone on the ground. Goes looking for Coleman. Canelio goes in. They work it out nicely. Kelly wrapped up. They've always got the spare to ball. Gets it to Bruin. Top of the square. It's 2v1 here. Good luck, Bobby Hill. Goes up. Can't mark. Gets it to ground. They're under pressure. Nice work, Berry. Gardner sold the puck to O'Halloran. Then had a bit of time and space. Down the line he goes. Beautiful outlet kick to Hipwood, who hit up hard from centre half forward.
Those line mids are working back harder now in Giants' forward line just to help out defensively in the air. Much better.
Hipwood takes the territory long down the line. Berry takes the mark for him. Just holds up. It's for the forward structure to be fully in place and sags the kick around to Starcevic. He stepped off his line, so he's called to play on. A kick to half forwards. McStay in the front. Himmelberg made the spoil from behind. Good grapple for the footy. Himmelberg was held up. He released it, but Fort was waiting for it. McStay and Zorko combined. Hand pass to nobody in particular. It bounced straight up to McStay, though. To the teeth of goal. They fly. Taylor made the spoil on Cameron. Knocked it out of play. Forward pockets. Giants by 10. Athena Home Loans scoreboards. Pay down your home loan faster with Athena Home Loans. Lions in attack at the throw-in. McInerney tapped it out the back. Good idea. Neil worked around to Bailey, just spun goal side, and can't believe that he missed.
It's another clanger.
Yeah, he was at the top of the square, and he just fluffed the kick out across the face. It should have been through. They're down by 9 points now. They creep incrementally closer.
See, the way found space was good. Coming, it's got a wide open Canelio at half back. He marks. He's got a couple down the line short. One of them's Josh Kelly. And he says to his teammates, calm it down. Well, they haven't been going at full throttle this quarter. Just the 2 goals kicked between them in the term. Kelly goes particularly short to Weir. Umpire said not required. Weir has to play on now. He looked inboard. Now it's out the back to Peatling. It came off the hands of Tom Green. No one comes at him, so he takes the grass, has a couple of bounces, gives it to Riccardi. Got a couple out the back. That is a magnificent kick. Brilliant vision, and Flynn, who was drifting down the open side, takes the mark about 20 out directly in front.
Yeah, it was a smart kick, wasn't it? He could have almost blazed away there. There was nothing really presenting coming at the kicker, so he had to just stop and wait and pause. And saw the ruckman just pushing hard down the open side of the ground. Not sure if he just came off the bench or if he'd worked down from the midfield, but well done to the big ruckman, Flynn.
Pretty important kick this in the shadows of half-time. That is one of the worst-looking kicks you'll ever see. Yep. I don't know what to describe that. It's a goal.
It was a wobbler.
So the big fella does what he has to do. It doesn't really matter how. It's how many, and it's 6, and they lead by 15. 10-1, 61. Play 7-4, 46. A couple of minutes to go in the second quarter. All the numbers on the Athena Home Loan scoreboard. Flynn gets his first.
Yeah, so big Oscar McInerney just got line of ball. His direct opponent there in Flynn, he just ran skinny to try and get where the quick kick would go. But because they had a little bit of time, they were just able to square the ball up. And just watching it, the replay there, and he just took one of the biggest divots you'll ever see. So you almost need the sand bucket to come out and replace your divot.
Callan Ward sitting down on the interchange bench for Snaffle. Bite-sized payments win after a knee to the cheekbone from a hipwood fly in the opening term. AFL Nation for Tyre Power and McDonald's. Neil ends up with the ball at the stoppage in the middle. Hand pass to Starcevic. Wore a little bit of high contact from Flynn. It was incidental. Flynn gets down, dumped after he dropped the footy. Umpire said he was held without it. Flynn's ball on the wing. 2 minutes to play in the term. He checks the Giants just a little too fiercely. Bruin was his target. It runs out of play. 70 from goal. They'll have to be patient in the build-up. 15-point leaders on the Athena Home Loan scoreboards. Mark McVeigh barking instructions on the phone from the box. McInerney wins the tap down. Rayner throws it onto his boots. Gets it beyond halfway for the Lions. It should have been dealt with in defence by Hogan. He dropped the mark and then got dumped in the aftermath. Iden lent a hand, but the Lions came up with it. A trickling ball inside the 50. Hipwood chases close to the boundary. Great speed. Centering ball will work. Robertson got it. Sidestep. Open the face. Snapped it through. Brilliant stuff, Hipwood. Neat finish, Devon Robertson. It's a team goal of the game for Host Plus. That's a plus. And the margin returns to 9 points. 8-4-52 to 10-1-61 on the Athena Home Loan scoreboard.
Yeah, a couple of really good efforts then, Jared, by Eric Hipwood. He laid the tackle in attacking midfield and got up and sprinted forward. Able to get on the loose ball. Looked like he was going to have a shot there, and the ball ricocheted back into the waiting hands. Brisbane Lions forward knocks it over. Fantastic play. Gee, they needed that too, Brisbane. They're coming really hard.
There's a really clever kick on the easy debit replay by Eric Hipwood.
Robertson did that well too, Andy. He sort of had the double shimmy just to try and get a little bit of time and space. Looked like he was going to go back on his left foot for the snap.
Safety still shed stats. Lockie Neal's up to 20 disposals as we close in on half-time. Canelio started the game hot, still been busy throughout. Gets it out into the path of Flynn, who whacks it wider to Brander, who's under pressure and then just got rid of the footy. Flynn stayed near him, but he coughs it up. Rayner, Neal for disposal number 21. Finds Berry in a bit of time and space. They stood off him. It comes back to Berry from Rayner. Around the body he goes. Hooking through for a ripper. And they close it to single figures now, Brisbane, in the shadows of half-time, and they've really come back hard at the Giants in this second quarter. 9-4-58 the Lions. GWS 10-1-61. And that is a goal of the game for Host Plus.
Fantastic. And he's a good player, Berry. Ballarat boy. Great finish. Accelerated. Inside 50. And he was pumped too. This is a great game of footy. Back to 3 points. They never give up, this Brisbane Lions team. They're so determined. We've been spoiled. This is a great game of footy.
Terrific.
It was 30 points early and has been reduced to 3 in terms of the deficit, and a clean break out of the middle, and they'll fancy the home side that they can grab the lead before half-time. McInerney, clean tap, down to Rayner, hand pass to Neal, wore a little bit of high contact, dragged down, hand passed out the back, so he's lost the footy as a result. Bruin to Canelio, offloaded as he worked it forward. Starcevic out at half-back. He cleared the way, trickled the ball up near Archie. It was disputed with him the whole way by O'Halloran. Peatling lends a hand right against the boundary. It's over. Throw it in.
41 now between Neal and Berry.
Yep.
Stats for safety steel sheds. 60 out from the Giants' goal. Tossed back into play. McInerney worked his way to the front. He was offloaded by Perryman. Rayner pulls it clear. Dropped it down the wing. Keith kept Fort away from it. Gathers. Expansive with a defensive hand pass to Brander. He's got to find the way out. Sweeps a hand pass to the side for Himmelberg. He has a look at the switch. It would have been ill-advised, so he stays on the near side and uses it to Keith. And that'll get us to half-time of a highly entertaining clash at the Gabba. It's the Giants by 3 points. 10-1-61. The Lions 9-4-56. That is the Athena Home Loan scoreboard. Pay down your home loan faster with Athena Home Loans. Goal kickers, 3 for Toby Green, 2 for Peatling, with singles to Canelio, Kelly, Riccardi, Flynn and Hill. 3 for Link McCarthy. Singles to Robertson, Berry, Cameron, McStay, Hipwood and Bailey. Half-time, 10-1-61 the Giants, 9-4-58 the Lions. At Kardinia Park, it's Geelong 8-5-53, leading Adelaide 3-7-25, so a 28-point lead. Brenton Sanderson, just a quick snapshot of your thoughts, and we'll be more expansive in a moment. buymystock.com.au.
Oh, it's a fantastic game of footy. Both teams are taking the game on. The tackle pressure's been excellent. The Lions mids are working really hard defensively now to support, because the Giants were just scoring so often every time they went inside forward 50. But I like the way that Brisbane worked their way back into the game. Lowering their eyes inside forward 50. 10 marks already inside their forward 50. But this is set up to be an excellent second half. Both teams really looking to play an exciting brand of offensive footy.
Giants by 3. This is AFL Nation for Icon Services, solutions that matter.
That quarter on AFL Nation was for McDonald's. Order via the My Macca's app and start earning today.
If your business has stock that you just can't move, buymystock.com.au. Make your unwanted stock problems go away. Visit buymystock.com.au today.
We buy stock that you can't move. Buymystock.com.au.
Major building projects for the trade or a DIY home reno. Robot Building Supplies is the Australian-owned family-run business you can trust.
Robots got it.
Robot's product range is vast and world-class. And when it comes to product knowledge,
Robots got it.
Next-day delivery in Metro Melbourne.
Robots got it.
Over 70 years experience and reliability helping Melburnians. Robot Building Supplies. Notting Hill, Sunshine, Preston, Dramana, Pakenham, Coldstream and Darnham. robotbuildingsupplies.com.au.
ROBOT, Robot Building Supplies.
Footy is made up by lots of bite-sized plays. A good pass here, a nice kick there, maybe snaffling possession. But adding up all of these bite-sized plays can get you big wins. It's the same with Snaffle. Get stuff you want now and pay it off with bite-sized payments. Now that's a huge win. Snaffle. Grab a Snaffle wallet today at snaffle.com.au.
Terms, conditions, fees, charges and lending criteria apply. Credit provided by Walker Stores Proprietary Limited, Australian Credit Licence 393023.
If you're a local multi-trade contracting company, Handy wants you. Handy works with insurance companies with fair rates and fast payment. If you're licensed and insured, it's quick to sign up. Go to handy.com. That's HANDDI.com.
Drinks fridge looking a little on the empty side? Hairy Dog is the better way to buy alcohol. Online in your own time. Browse Australia's largest range from those hard-to-find drops to all your favourites. From wines, spirits and must-try mixes to curated cocktails and mystery beer bundles. Hairy Dog has it all so you can have it all. Delivered the very next day for metro areas with free shipping and 10% off your first order. Order online at hairydog.com.au. Drink responsibly. Afterpay and Zip Pay available.
Sheds come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. But if you're after a shed, go and have a word with the family-owned team at Best Sheds. Because right now, you'll get 10% off the sheds at Best Sheds. Plus, all their sheds come with a 20-year manufacturer's warranty. And you can choose from the standard range or customise the shed of your dreams. Hit the sheds with Best Sheds 10% off sale. Best Sheds. 100% Australian owned and manufactured. Visit bestsheds.com.au.
Basketball fans, your local Sporting Globe has you covered for this year's playoffs and finals. Catch every minute of the action live and loud while you enjoy their limited time menu, including the triple double burger, triple the meat, double the cheese, all the glory. Your home of sports, the Sporting Globe is the perfect destination to watch all your NBA playoffs and finals. Download the app, book ahead. It's more than a sports bar. It's the Sporting Globe.
The legendary reliability of Toro mowers has made them best on ground at Real Madrid and St Andrews. Then there's the legendary toughness of Toro irrigation that makes them best underground too. And now you can rely on Toro for your home ground. Check out Toro Walk Power Mowers, lithium-powered garden tools and garden irrigation systems now available at Bunnings Warehouse and your local Toro dealer. For the home ground advantage, you can count on Toro.
Are you the fan who wishes footy was like it was in the old days? All the biff, the brawn, the head-high tackles, minus the ref's whistle. You are the traditional fan. And when you're at Schnitz, you're ordering the classic schnitzel recipe like original schnitzel and chips. A pan-cooked golden schnitzel with those seasoned crispy chips you can only find at Schnitz. You've got that winning taste now, right? Schnitz. Handcrafted schnitzels, made fresh, made just for you. Schnitz it your way this season.
You're listening to the 2022 Premiership season on AFL Nation for Beaumont Tiles. Hybrid flooring in store now. Maccas, I'm loving it moments. Order via the My Maccas app and start earning today.
Charlie Gardner raced on and he kicks it for Hipwood in the right forward pocket. Third game back. He was set up to hook this around the corner. Hipwood on the move. He's got it. That'll be good for the soul. Right to the teeth of goal, and that's strong hands from Riccardi. Jake Riccardi from full forwards. Extends the margin back to 12. Hipwood chases close to the boundary. Great speed. Centering ball will work. Robertson got it. Sidestep. Open the face. Snapped it through. Brilliant stuff, Hipwood. Neat finish, Devon Robertson. I'm loving it moments for Maccas. Score 20% off your order when you spend $10 or more. The Giants 10-1-61 lead the Brisbane Lions 9-4-58. It was 12 points at quarter time, but it had been 30 in an explosive start from the Giants. It's just 3 now. It's time for the halftime floor show, thanks to Choices Flooring.
The Choices Flooring halftime floor show. Check out Choices Flooring's Room View program.
Brenton Sanderson, we've certainly been entertained by what's happened so far at the Gabba.
Yeah, it's been an excellent game. Both teams really taking the game on the back of some, I guess, a sloppy, fumbly, second of the footy type start by the Brisbane Lions, but geez, they quickly got back into action. They were excellent in that second quarter in particular. Their ability to be able to just stabilise things and make sure they got back on top. But the area that I think they're going to focus mostly on at half-time has to be their clearance numbers, and firstly it's their centre bounce, 15-5. They're getting smashed in centre bounce clearances, and otherwise it's pretty even. Contested possession slightly in Brisbane's favour, inside 50s slightly in Brisbane's favour, 27-25. Both teams looked like they were going to score every time the ball went inside their forward 50 in the first quarter, but it did settle down. Well, I like the Brisbane Lions midfielders, and I thought they responded defensively. They were able to get back and help with some of those aerial contests in their forward line. Neil and Berry are both on fire. Neil's had 22 disposals, Berry's had 20. But there's a few Lions players that are down. So Zorko's only had the 7 possessions. Lions only had 7. And Daniel Rich, who's such a quarterback for the Brisbane Lions team, he's getting tagged today by De Boer, and we know he is that blanket player. Only 4 disposals to half-time for Daniel Rich. Kelly's been great for the Giants. Caniglio's had a really positive start to the game. I think they've dropped the Perryman tag on Neil because he's been so influential to start this game. But it's a really good, exciting brand of footy that both these teams are playing today. I've got to admire the Brisbane Lions team because, as you said, Jared, they were really out of that contest in that first 7 or 8 minutes, but they fought their way back. They got the game back on their terms, and it's going to be a really interesting second half to see how this game opens up.
The Giants have been running hot for Ream. Ask your plumber to install a Ream steady, hot and strong. Andy, the player power rankings for Red Energy. Moving house. Call local energy retailer Red Energy.
Yeah, we picked 50 points as the marker for excellence to half-time for fantasy. There are 9 players who are 50 or better in this game. Berry leads. He's got a monumental score coming if you've got him in your fantasy teams. 88 points to the halfway mark. He's 19 points better than the next best player on the ground, Lockie Neal, with 67.
Sando had the stats in there for safety steel sheds designed to save, built to last. Who's taken the hanger of the day? Hangmytv.com.au, because that's what they do.
Well, we've seen Bobby Hill fly for a couple, but probably the one that was most impressive so far was Gardner going back with the fly. That was probably the one that we liked the most to half-time.
Who's in the conversation as the player of the day so far, thanks to Henley Tradies? Guaranteed to be paid on time every time.
Oh, you'd say it's either Berry or Neil at this stage. Berry's had the 2 goals, the 1 goal, but he's taken 8 marks, 20 possessions. He's been in everything. He's getting back hard defensively, and Lockie Neal, we know, the former Brownlow medalist, he's the ability to shake that tag. He's been really influential with 22 disposals for the Brisbane Lions. But, I mean, you got to love the Toby Green first quarter, 3 goals. Lincoln McCarthy, 3 goals in the first quarter. There's great players all over the ground today.
The injury update for Safety HQ, safetyhq.com.au. Get new work gear now. Callan Ward wore the knee to the cheekbone.
So he played through it for 5 or 10 minutes, got to quarter time and clearly was no good. So he doesn't look, he's not sitting on the boundary line, he's in the dugout. He doesn't appear to be structurally in any danger, but it's clearly a concussion at the very least. So we wish him well.
Unmissable moments are plenty for Drinkwise. You won't miss a moment if you drink wise.
Well, I think you just got to put down the whole first quarter, really, for an unmissable moment. That was as good as footy as I've seen played from two teams. And when I say as good a footy, it was entertaining. It was offense. It was high scoring. It was so much fun to watch two teams just go head-to-head and take the game on. And, defensively disappointing for both teams, but had some fun watching that first quarter.
That's great. For Drinkwise, choose to drink wise. The MEGT Rookie of the Day, MEGT, your local apprenticeship experts. Call 13 MEGT today.
Well, I can only find one rookie on the ground today. That's Jacob Weir for the GWS Giants. He's been okay. He's had 5 disposals, playing a little bit of wing, a little bit of cross-half forward. Really good decision maker. He's got time and space. And he's going to be hard to beat for Rookie of the Day if you're the only one out there.
Yep, MEGT, your local apprenticeship experts, makes him a better thing than Zaki was, as it turned out. Around the grounds, he got beaten in the Doomben Cup as a long odds-on favourite for Kangan Institute. Our heroes are made at Kangan Institute, kangan.edu.au, RTO 3077. Geelong 8-5-53 lead, Adelaide 3-7-25. So the Cats by 28 points at half-time down the highway. The coach of the day for TC Boxes, it's home for trays, canopies and toolboxes.
Yeah, obviously you've got to love what both coaches are doing today. We've seen a great offensive output from both teams, but I think what they'll probably do, and it's a shame with coaches sometimes because they want to block the game up and they want to get forward half turnovers and they want to condense the ground, but it is hard to do at the Gabba because it's such a big open ground with deep pockets. So much talent in both of these sides, and I'm glad we're getting what we hoped for, which is a really open, free-flowing game, and obviously I guess a very experienced coach and a guy coaching his second game with some really good support around him, McVeigh. But hopefully we see more of this offensive style in the second half.
When we take calls across the weekend, it'll be on the Kogan open line. Make the call, switch to Kogan Mobile from $2.90 for 30 days with a big 20 gig of data. I presume we'll have a hotline for Richmond fans set up for Monday morning. That's the halftime floor show thanks to Choices Flooring. See your floor change in an instant with Room View. The Giants 10-1-61 lead the Lions 9-4-58. AFL Nation for Icon Services Solutions that matter. This Giants game is brought to you by Bingley, Australian family owned for more than 65 years.
A sports news update for Rolled. Eat good with Rolled. It's fast, fresh Vietnamese.
I'm Victoria Raptis with your sports update for Rolled. In AFL, Lance Franklin's 5-goal heroics helped Sydney to a 6-point win over Richmond last night. Coach John Longmire put it down to his team's second-half turnaround.
But we just started winning some more contests and being cleaner and better around the ball.
In the NRL, the Panthers overcame the Cowboys 22-0 and the Broncos defeated the Titans 35-24. In soccer, Melbourne City is set to face Western United in the Men's A-League Grand Final tonight. City's Matthew Leckie says they're approaching the match the same as any other.
Regardless of who we come up against, it's always, the same preparation, the same information. So, just continue to do what we've been doing all season.
A sports news update for Rolled. Fast, fresh Vietnamese. You're listening to the 2022 Premiership season on AFL Nation for Beaumont Tiles. Hybrid flooring in store now.
We buy stock that you can't move. BuyMyStock.com.au.
If your business has stock that you just can't move, you need BuyMyStock.com.au. They're stock clearing experts and can turn your unwanted stock into cash. Big or small, they'll clear it all. Make your unwanted stock problems go away. Visit BuyMyStock.com.au today. BuyMyStock.com.au.
We buy stock that you can't move. BuyMyStock.com.au.
rock hot butter you've ever seen. Ream comes on steady, hot and strong. It just keeps on and on.
Ream's been proudly manufacturing here in Australia for over 80 years.
Install a Ream. Install a Ream. Install a Ream.
So ask your plumber for Ream, Australia's #1.
Okay, my battery's nearly gone. Am I picking up the kids from training or you are?
Yeah, can you get them for 5?
Couldn't hear you. Can you say that again? My battery's nearly... flat.
Without charge on your phone, nomophobia kicks in. No mobile phone phobia. You can beat it with a Signet Power Bank. With a Signet Power Bank, there's no more running out of charge when you need it most.
Yeah, okay, great. I'll be there at 5 to get the kids.
Aussie owned, Aussie designed. Power your life with a Signet Power Bank. Signet.com.
Something wonderful happens when you visit Mildura. The city vibe continues, but the outback's only moments away. Fresh produce is endless, the embers are hotter, and the night skies seem longer. Nature sings, kangaroos graze, and the sun glistens magically on the river. Photos captured and stories told are shared amongst family and friends. So, when you're ready, start your journey with us. Visit mildura.com.au.
The McChicken is simply simple. No bells or whistles. Just a crispy chicken patty and fresh lettuce smothered in creamy McChicken sauce. Hey, we said no bells and whistles. McChicken. I'm loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Available after 10:30am.
If you're a local multi-trade contracting company, Handy wants you. Handy works with insurance companies with fair rates and fast payment. If you're licensed and insured, it's quick to sign up. Go to handy.com. That's HANDDI.com.
You'll never miss a moment with all of your favourites live on KO Sports. Every match of the NRL and AFL seasons, as well as every F1 race live and ad break free during play. The NBA playoffs are also heating up, and it's the biggest season of netball ever. That's right, all the big hits, high-flying heroics and buzzer beaters, ready to watch anywhere, anytime. How good is that? New to KO? Start your free trial today.
There's a lot of history hidden at Repco, so listen up, because this ad will be gone in 30 seconds. See, some people reckon we got 10W30 in our veins. Or if we look to the skyline, all we see are falcons, bluebirds and 200 bees. The truth is, we've got an unexplainable bond with motoring. Any Mark, Dick or Jamie could tell you that. So dart in store or online today for great deals. Repco, driven by passion for 100 years.
If you love working outside and the idea of being your own boss excites you, then you may want to listen up. 1300 Temp Fence are looking for subcontractors now. As a 1300 Temp Fence subcontractor, you'll have access to uncapped earning potential and the opportunity to be involved in delivering some of our nation's largest events and major infrastructure projects. To find out more about this unmissable opportunity, apply now at 1300tempfence.com.au.
You're listening to the 2022 Premiership season on AFL Nation for Beaumont Tiles. Hybrid flooring in store now.
The Giants 10-1-61 to Brisbane 9-4-58. Brenton Sanderson, is the expectation that the Lions, having weathered the storm and reset, that they should get back to rolling through the way they would have anticipated at the start of the day?
Well, you'd think so, but I don't know. We'll see how much fight's in this Giants team. Obviously, they take a 3-point lead in a half-time. They were electric in that first quarter. They started this game off so well. They get in the sheds. They have a chance to reset. There's some really impressive performances, you know. Like, I'm really loving Himmelberg playing across half-back again. Right. He looks really good. Riccardi looks like he's quite settled in defence. So there's some really positives for the Giants. They've just got to make sure they go on and play 4 quarters today. But the Lions, so much to play for. Coming off a loss last week down in Tasmania, they go in, they reset, they evaluate how they can potentially change this game back into their favour as well. So it's set up for an excellent second half.
Opening bounce coming for Tyre Power. Save on Falcon. Store-wide super sale now on.
14 goals kicked in the first quarter, 5 in the second. Let's see what we get here. Beautiful conditions in Brisbane today. 25 degrees. Not a cloud in the sky. Shadows stretching across the Gabba. We are underway in the third term. It's the Giants by 3 as we get going. Perryman who's been in the middle today, tried to get it to Canelio, but the room was taken away from him immediately. Another ball up. Flynn, McInerney, ground level, no, nothing decisive. Rayner in the middle, slung off his kick, made the attempt. Umpire said that was good enough. Up towards half-back, Giants defending early. Riccardi on the footy, wrapped up by a couple of Giants. It's not coming out. And we'll have a ball up. A couple of lines, I should say. Flynn, big thump from McInerney. 20 metres into the clear. Clever tap from Neil to Archie across the face. McCarthy couldn't take the mark. Himmelberg runs onto the loose footy. Clears defensive 50 now. Nice body use from Hill. God, hands. The umpire said it wasn't nice body use. The hands were a bit too decisive and mid in the back, and cute descent from Bobby Hill.
That was good.
Lions just open up the wing a little bit with a kick for Answorth. His defensive side of it, not a whole lot to work with. Answorth probes up toward the attacking 50. They have flyers, but no mark. Bailey does the roving. Couldn't be handled by Rayner, so Bailey has another go. This is all close to the boundary, 50 out from goal. Zorko onto it. Ham passed over his head with great force, but no direction. Perryman, cute kick across the turf. Found its way to Tom Green. Long down the lines, out on the full. And the Lions will get the ball back through Starcevic.
A sloppy start as they try and find their rhythm early in this third quarter. Short ball into Berry, been prolific. Marks in front of the interchange gate. Snaffle bite-sized payments win. Ward already off the ground. O'Halloran active from quarter time in this game. The Medi sub for the Giants. Out the back it goes. Cumming runs right through the top of Bailey. No free kick. Perryman over the top. Cut up by Rich. Bailey, Neal. Hoisted high. Ball touched off the boot. Play on's the call. Ball pitches. Rayner spikes it forward. McCarthy had a look. In goes McInerney. Ball still to be won. Riccardi in unfamiliar territory. Hacks it out of the top of the square. Bounce it out of defensive 50 now. Answorth runs onto the footy. Good support laid by Gardner. Turns it all around. Top of the square. Double fister from Keefe. Into some open territory. Crowd didn't like something. I'm not sure what it was. Iden gets a handball from Kelly. They've got nothing ahead of the footy. It's a bit slow motion down there. Andrews. Handball to Starcevic. Wrapped up. Ball comes out to Berry, who's picked up where he left off. Goes in towards centre half forward. Rayner time and space from 55. Thumping ball right to the line and off hands. Through for a behind. He has got some power in that right leg of his. 9-5. 59 Brisbane, 10-1, 61 the Giants. Victoria Police Assistant Line scoreboard.
First point of the quarter here, Jared. This is your kicking down the middle. Let's have a look.
Has Stevie J persisted or have they redrawn? Coming. No, they've redrawn. He's had a bounce out into the pocket. He'll play a shallow ball down the wing. He would have been better off blasting into the centre square. Berry with a hand pass to Rayner. Worked it around. Rich has it well within range. He's pushed the kick fractionally, and in fact he didn't get there as Himmelberg drifted on the goalpost to take the mark. Quickly on the way up beyond the defensive 50, well judged by Hogan, as Zorko made a bit of a meal about how he was going to defend that. Hogan poked it over the top, didn't do anyone any favours, and Rayner pinched the mark from Tom Green, took off straight back inside, and McStay takes the mark. He's dragged the ground in the aftermath. He could easily handle a 50, and that is exactly what's going to be paid. Himmelberg was very untidy, and you're simply not entitled to do that. The Brisbane Lions are about to lead for the first time this afternoon. McStay from point-blank range puts them in front. His second, and they lead with the first goal of the second half. 10-5-65 to the Giants, 10-1-61 Victoria Police Assistance Line scoreboard.
Yeah, good call, Gerald. It was just a little bit unnecessary, I think, from Himmelberg. I think he was just frustrated that McStay was had taken the hit-up mark, and he just followed through with almost like a tackle after he'd taken the mark. Zorko not happy with Himmelberg's reaction, but it's been really good today, Himmelberg. Really disappointing to give away that 50-metre penalty. He said that gives Brisbane the lead for the first time today after being 30 points down. They've fought their way back into the front and need to see a response here at centre bounce by the Giants.
Zorko went a bit close to the line there. We've seen some prohibitive contact calls that have upset a few. He would have raised the eyebrow of an umpire or two, but hopefully it wasn't paid. Tom Green from the restart around the body up towards half forward. The ball bounces. De Boer spikes it forward. Toby Green tries to run onto it. Answorth gets it to Rayner, working back hard at half-back. That's a clever kick. Beautifully read, however, by the Giants' defence, and coming hard at it was Weir, who saw that it was out the back. The Lions were a chance, and he killed that. Spiked it over the boundary line. We'll have a boundary throw-in. Wing position out of side of the ground. Flynn and McInerney to contest. It's the Lions by 4. AFL Nation for Ty Power and McDonald's. McInerney front position. Decisive. Zorko wrapped up by Canelio. It's not coming out. And we'll have a ball up.
We've persisted with those matchups too. Perryman's still going to Lockie Neal. I thought they might drop that one. And the other one, Rich is getting run with by De Boer across half-back still.
Jumper tug there, no free kick. Robertson's done some nice things around the footy. Hoisted high, but Taylor read it better than McStay and runs onto that footy, takes a good mark. Born to play the role, Sam Taylor, and now looks for something further afield, called to play on now, almost smothered, up towards half forward, hugging the boundary line. Poor kick. Adams takes the mark for the Lions. Low drilling ball. That was poor off the instep. Some shoddy stuff early in this quarter from both sides. O'Halloran over the top of the footy. Almost got one in the back. No, said the umpire. Off hands, out of bounds. We'll have a boundary throw in. McStay's kicked the only goal of the quarter. It's Brisbane 10-5, GWS 10-1. We've been going nearly 7 minutes on the Makuta clock in this third quarter.
Crows are making a run at Geelong. They've kicked 3 in a row and narrowed the margin to 15 points for Kangan Institute. 13 TAFE. Fight for the ball on the wing after the throw-in. Tom Green came through hard, escaped his grasp though, and Berry runs it over the boundary. So again they set up for the stoppage. Flynn and McInerney. It's been an engrossing duel. McInerney pushed Flynn into it. It came to Rayner underneath. He got smothered and then Flynn got offloaded and his kick flopped in short and Adams takes the mark. So no fluency to the Giants' attack thus far in the third term. Adams out of half-back for Brisbane. High ball to the next contest. Himmelberg from the side. Double-handed spoil out to the interchange bench.
Sando, they've let these two big ruckmen sort of engage one another a bit today without the sort of knee-jerk whistles.
Kicks,
unless it's absolutely obvious. We're happy to see it umpired this way.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think you're seeing exactly what Jared said. Two big ruckmen just fighting for the contest, and I don't think we've seen any free kicks today in the ruck.
Fort took a turn down to Bailey, hand passed over his head to Lyons, soft to Berry, deep entry, right over the top of the first contest. Archie closing, got there, hand to foot, missed. Archie, the flyer. He arrived but couldn't quite control things. Up by 5, the Lions on the Victoria Police Assistance line scoreboard.
Himmelberg, the kicking duties. He missed his earlier torp. He kicked one 71 metres last week. You can see him have another go. He's put it away after the first miss, and it'll be the traditional drop punt. Out of sight of the ground he goes. There was some interference in the marking contest. Free kick to Brander or Green. Umpire says he can play on. Toby Green, little toe poke over the top. Clever, into space. Let Riccardi run onto it. 65 out from goal. A lot of open space at the moment in front of him. No one really presenting. So top of the square he goes. It's an aimless kick, really. Hogan was outnumbered. Rich was at ground level. So was Pryor. Gardner goes in there as well. His handball missed everybody. Robertson goes in. Rich, Coleman. There's a lot of standing still receivers. Gardner was one of those. His kick was good and strong and direct down the line to Archie. Took the mark. Gives it to Answorth. He's got the teammate running by. It's Starcevic. Pokes it down the line to Hipwood, who hits up hard. In fact, it was Lyons involved in the last part of that chain who got it to Hipwood. He's got nothing immediately on, so he waits for Answorth to give him the handball in space. He runs the full measure. Now thrusts it high to the top of the square. Who can jump? Cameron was ambitious. Rayner hits it at ground level, and Rayner kicks the goal. And the Lions make their move. They've got the first 2 goals of the third quarter. And they stretch the lead out now to 11 points. 11-6-72 Brisbane. 10-1, 61 the Giants. All of that on the Victoria Police Assistance Line scoreboard.
Yeah, that's classic Brisbane then. And that was... Got excited then. Charlie Cameron just flew himself at that aerial contest. He ended up coming in sideways almost. But the ability there just to crumb the ball, get to the fall of the footy. He's a good player, Rainer. Just such smart footy IQ. Gets on the loose ball, lays it across his boot. Brilliant snap. It's just starting to get rolling a little bit now, Brisbane. The centre bounce has been the domination today for the GWS Giants. They really need to win this one here, but they've moved Riccardi forward, the Giants. They're just lacking a little bit of opportunity to score now. They've relied so much today on that big bomb inside forward 50 to get the crummers, but they just can't get the ball in there in this quarter. Brisbane dominating the time in possession and ball in front half.
Lions by 11. Flynn won the tap initially. Forts fighting the good fight though. Hand pass wasn't gathered by Robertson, so Flynn got another look. Couldn't clear the area. It's Bailey who prized out some sort of kick and took the territory. A bit of volleyball being played both ways. Coleman had a hand pass on his hands and knees, and Zorko laid a high tackle and conceded the footy. So a real grapple for the ball there. Tom Green in a centre field for Bruin. What's that whistle for?
Off the footy, down the field, inside the Giants 50, and it's a free kick to Hogan.
And they're typically holding free kicks when they're paid ahead of the play.
So the ball now with Jesse Hogan, who can go back and size up a shot at goal. They do need it, the Giants. Flat-footed after half-time. Trailing by 11 points. And no excuses for the kick. Hogan on approach, skips in, lets fly, made good contact, so that'll do nicely for GWS. They continue to kick accurately, and it keeps them in the game. They're down by 5, 11-1, plays 11-6 on the Victoria Police Assistance Line scoreboard. It's 9 points down the highway. The Cats 8-5-53 to the Crows 6-8-44. Middle stages of the third term around the grounds for Kangan Institute. 13 tape.
Yeah, I'm just looking at a replay now, Andy. It was holding. Gardner just got a little bit of a jumper tug there on Jesse Hogan. He was trying to push hard back to goal, then come back at the kicker, and Gardner just wrapped him up. Gave away the free kick. It was definitely there, and a much-needed goal for the Giants. Hogan's first for the day.
Yeah, broke a run of 4, kicked by the Brisbane Lions to either side of the half-time break, and just keeps them in touch as the general consensus is that Brisbane Lions will move away from them here. Whether the Giants have got other thoughts. Kelly from the restart to Perryman. Lovely kick. Finds Peatling pushing up to half forward. Coleman to the footy. Too far out to score. From 75, he drives it to the top of the square. Big pack fly. No mark. Big fist. Kelly not favoured by the bounce. Pryor, the crumb. Gets it to McStay. Back to Pryor. Nicely worked by the Lions out of defensive 50. His kick close to the line. Pitches in the field of play. Taylor's got to sit. They've got the numbers. Nice work from Cumming. Keith was standing still. Didn't really know what to do there, Lockie Keith, and I reckon he's happy with the ball going out of bounds.
Yeah, he was like a statue then. He was.
He had his back to the goal and he was flat footing. And what are you handballing it to me for? I don't know what to do here. So they squared it up with a 50-50. Fort wins the boundary throw-in. Neal's a chance to run onto the loose ball. He wrapped up by Perryman, gets it to Lyons. Lovely cut through by Bailey. The kick wasn't all that flash. He kicked it over the top of Archie. Iden's under pressure, bats it to himself. Nicely played, Archie. Stayed with him. Iden clears it out of defensive 50. Ball to be won. 50-50 ball here. Hill Starcevic. That's a good old Thursday night footy training matchup right there. Kick it out to 2 blokes in a good old one-on-one. And the boundary line intervened and we'll have a boundary throw in out of sight of the ground. Lions slightly in attack. They lead by 5. 11-6 plays. 11-1 Victoria Police Assistance Line scoreboard.
Berry and Neal are matching motors. 24 disposals each for Safety Steel Sheds. The Lions at half forward at the throw-in. Bruin wins first possession. Taken to ground though by Neal. Try again. The locals wanted holding the ball. It might have been paid against Neil by the look of the fans. So it has. Bruin sideways to Kelly. It wasn't 15. He had to go quickly. Hand passed away to Cumming, who released the hand pass to Perryman. Now the kick comes to half forward. A searching lead from Tom Green. He fumbled the ball down low. And it's taken away by Adams. Dumps it down the wing. Fine mark taken by McCarthy. So good overheads. He's signalling the runners to get in deep to the 50. He's going to lag the pass initially for Archie. He gives it to Coleman, racing by. Lands it at the hot spot. Get after that. Hipwood worked off it. Brander comes through, stripped of the ball. Robertson sold the shimmy, did the pirouette, snapped the goal. Superb forward craft for his second. Devon Robertson making the most of his opportunity. He's got 2 contenders for the goal of the game. Host plus, that's a plus. And he pushes the margin back to 11 points. 12-6-78 to the Giants, 11-1-67. Victoria Police Assistance Line scoreboard.
Oh, Jared, well called. That was fantastic forward craft. He was desperate. He ran past 4 or 5 Giants players then to ensure that he picked the pocket of Brander. Then the little sidestep. Smart footy. He's a nice little player. He's only played 18 games, but he's going to be a player of the future for the Brisbane Lions.
That is a contender for not only goal of the day, that's going to be in the reckoning once the big one's handed out. I remember he was captain of WA under 18, and there's always been a bit of a knock on his kicking and maybe his speed, but he's a footballer, Sando.
Yeah, I like him today.
So back in the middle we go. Canelio. Can they answer again here, the Giants, as Brisbane just force it forward. Bailey around the body goes, top of the square. Ball to 2v1. Hipwood gets the crumb, flips it over the top to Lyons, wrapped up by Himmelberg and carried over the line for a behind. But they're surging now. 12-7-79, 11-1-67, 17 gone. Third quarter, Makita clock all the numbers on the Victoria Police Assistant line. Use the Police Assistance line for non-urgent solutions.
Himmelberg has the kick in. 9:48 to go on the Makita Rule the Outdoors clock in the third quarter. He kicked long down the interchange wing. Brought to ground by Hogan. Has to be dealt with there. Andrews was able to tie it up against Peatling. And it is going to be paid against Peatling for diving on the footy, which ended up trapped under him. Cats have kicked a couple to repel and reset the lead at 20 points. Harris Andrews, footy in hand. Lions leading by 12. He'll land at 30 from goal. Flies from varying angles. Archie plays Crummer. Free swing at the goal and a fine mark taken on the behind line by Pryor. Full stretch, hauled it in. And they're going to send it to review. Just to see for roofing and sheet metal centre. Everything sheet metal from the roof down.
The eye said mark, didn't it?
Yes, I think it's a mark. I think he had enough of the footy before it crossed the line. And Archie was having the shot for goal, but Pryor just worked really hard to get into the right position to get his hands on it first. Brander,
pretty prompt. You would think so.
It's the initial contact is well inside the field of play. It'll just be a matter of whether it's a clean grab or whether it bobbles. And that's a clean mark. Well inside the field of play. It's the sort of one that makes me think they pad the stats of the arc from time to time. Just giving them an easy correct.
So we've got a 95% success rate?
Yeah.
You reckon they do that too?
No. But that didn't need to be reviewed.
No, it did not.
Pryor with the opportunity, opens the angle and hooks it through for a goal.
Hit the post.
Oh, top of the post. Can we send that for review as well?
I don't think we need to.
No, it has hit the top of the post. 13-point margin.
See, the kick in from Cumming was bowled to Weir, and it just got through a couple of would-be interceptors. Weir goes back to Cumming, not the required distance, so he's under pressure now and good enough to find Josh Kelly, who plays on now, gives it to Himmelberg at half-back. Driving ball up towards half-forward. They need Nancy here to Johns. Good hands, Toby Green. Up in front of Answorth, who had a hell of a time in the first quarter. And a bit of the heat went out of that match up in the second as the scoring dried up. But Green with 3 on the board. He kicked one from a very similar spot in the first quarter.
Yeah, we know exactly what he's going to do here, Andy. He's going to walk in straight, and after about 5 steps, he's going to roll out to his right and use the stand rule to his advantage to kick from right on 50.
It's almost the identical spot, maybe 5 metres closer. He doesn't need to do it here, Sando. No. He thinks he's within range, and he's pulled it to the left. Yep. So he misses one that Toby Green would normally kick. They're only their second blemish of the day. 11-2-68, 12-8. 80 Victoria Police Assistance Line scoreboard lines in front.
It is the crucial moments for New Farm Australian through and through. Rich out into the back pocket. He takes the long kick down the wing, and it's going to be repelled by Flynn, who comes across the front of the contest and wins it right back. He's got a bit of room to work with as Sproul takes the mark at right half forwards. He's had a long look deep, and he's going to end up kicking it shallow though. So the Giants just not able to find the way. You know, O'Halloran with footy in hand. Tom Green wanted it short to the side. O'Halloran will chance his arm though to the top of the square. What do they got in the air? Toby Green went up before acceptances. It came down. Terrific tackle initially laid in defence, but the Lions are able to find the way out, and McCarthy takes the mark at half back. Sweeping hand pass out to Coleman. Confronted, sold the dummy and opened the wing up for himself. Delivers the Lions with great purpose. Cameron flew, didn't mark, has the bouncing ball, turns onto the right boot. Neat with the kick, and Hipwood couldn't help but mark.
So many of these scoring chains are on the back of Charlie Cameron. Charlie Cameron being involved, he works so hard up and down the ground, and that's what I loved about the resurgence today of the Brisbane Lions. Their midfielders getting back to support defensively, their high forwards getting through the midfield, opening up space when they do get the turnover. That results in uncontested marks inside forward 50.
It is a long-range set shot through right half forward for Eric Hipwood. He's kicked a goal already. He lets fly for his second. It is out to the left. It's a slice, and it is through for Aber Hines. 13-point leaders at the with 6 minutes and change to go in the term. AFL Nation is for McDonald's. Score 20% off your order when you spend $10 or more.
They've only kicked 3 goals won since quarter time, the Giants. The message has got to come out to keep taking the game on. They can't go into their shells here.
So coming with a low driving ball to, I think, Tom Green. It put him under pressure. Neil gets the crumb, and Neil makes them pay. He's having another day out, Lockie Neal. Disposal number 26. It's a host plus. That's a plus goal of the game. They extend their lead now. Neil kicks his first.
Now, they were bold then from the kick in. Isaac Cumming went to Green, slightly missed the kick, and they've punished him going back the other way. But the runner's got to come out. We've got to make sure, from the Giants' point of view, they keep taking the game on. They've got to take risks. They can't go into their shells. Despite that fantastic first quarter, they haven't been able to hit the scoreboard back on turnover or be creative in offence. Keep taking the game on. There's enough talent in this team to keep taking the game on. That has to be the message.
Brenton Sanderson for buymystock.com.au. The locals are vocal now. 19 points. 22 scoring shots to 13. At the bounce, McInerney the first and the second tap, but Tom Green is onto it. Hand passes it away. Ash drives it up inside the 50. Not set was Sproul. He did enough to disrupt the pack. Adams tries to tow it away successfully from De Boer. He then fumbled and gathered and almost got run down. And got a free kick in all of that. Coleman works it away to Zorko. The Lions to half forward. Bailey got rid of his opponent. Takes a mark. 50 out. He pushed. He pushed. It'll be there. It'll be there on the replay for Easy Debit. Join Easy Debit today.
Coming the recipient. He goes close to the boundary line. It's either touched before it went over or over. It's a clear run thing. Let's have a look at this replay. There's the hands in the back. Now, was he holding the ground or was he actively pushing? The umpire said...
They're really hard, those ones for the umpire, aren't they? When the player just holds his position.
Certainly feels like...
almost falls forward.
Yeah. Feels like there's a bit more latitude this year for the marking play, for the forward in that exact situation. Bailey was none too pleased. Green got the stoppage, didn't get rid of the footy as Lions wrapped him up with the tackle. Free kick, Brisbane in towards Starsic. He can have a go here from 51. He has a look, he has a go, and he puts through another one. 14-9-93 Brisbane. They're surging clear now. The Giants 11-2-68. Victoria Police Assistance Lions scoreboard.
And this is why I think the Brisbane Lions are a contender this year, because they just keep dialing up the pressure in important moments. They've got the ability, and they've been challenged by this Giants side today, but they just dial up their pressure, their intensity around tackling, and then just the poise, the calmness just to shift the ball 15, 20 metres laterally. Starcevic, the defender, working up the ground. They do spread their goal kickers really well, but it's a good side. They are made of the right stuff, the Brisbane Lions.
5-1 term. AFL Nation for Tyre Power. Buy 3, get 1 free on selected Falcon tyres. Still the best part of 5 minutes to go in the term. Good straight bounce. McInerney wins the tap. Rayner the footy, or Neal the footy. Got it off to Rayner, then back to Neal, and up to Pryor, to full forward. It just didn't quite give McStay the look that he was after, and Himmelberg pinched the mark. Hemmed in, deep in defence. Not a lot to work with. Takes off, got lost, slipped the tackle of McStay. Himmelberg ploughs on. He clears the area at last. To a contest. It clears them. Gardner has first access at the back. Checked his kick quite well. Pryor gathers. He can feed the hand pass over the top. Should open the play up for Starcevic. Neat little turn of speed, and even better with the kick. Cameron was rated in the right forward pocket. And Charlie, given the immense skill that he possesses, is more than entitled to go back and see if he can thread it. Up and down the field he's been all day. He's kicked 1 goal. Charlie Cameron, right forward pocket, steps in, hit the fat part of the ball. It won't even threaten to score. It lands at the top of the square, and he's punched through for a rushed behind. 26-point lead on the Victoria Police Assistance Lions scoreboard.
Yeah, good call, Gerald. You won't find a smaller forward in the competition that works harder than Charlie Cameron both ways. So he gets up and down the ground defensively and then works really hard back inside forward 50.
Cumming takes the ground, drives it out of defensive 50. Toby Green can't mark the crumbs. Good, wrapped up by Pryor. Peetling intercepts the handball. The Lions turn it over. Cameron again with the drop shoulder into Weir. He's trying to turn it over again as he gets another hand in there, puts Iden under pressure. There's an example of the work rate for you, Sando.
Well, just even the visual, then of the entire Brisbane Lions forward line just hunting after that loose ball. They've got that right frame of mind to hunt and pressure and chase and tackle, and that's what the great sides do. The ability to be able to keep pressuring at all times.
We'll find out how deep the Giants want to dig right now, I reckon, the next 30 minutes. Kelly drives it down the line. Riccardi can't mark. Pryor's been good today. Can't take it with him. Peetling in there, wrapped up. Harris Andrews may have got in his back. The umpire said no. Perryman just throws it away when confronted by Lions. And they're just starting to get a bit agitated and run out of ideas. And we're not run out of petrol here at GWS. Lions pops it over the top to Fort. Similarly, he finds Neal, whose hands on display a moment ago were absolutely elite. Wants something down the line. High ball to half forward. Pack comes at it. McInerney almost got her on the half volley. Over the top was Zorko. Ball spills free. Handball out of the pack to Ash. He goes looking for Keith. Keith has to kick it quickly. Down the line to a 2-on-2. Andrews goes back. There's going to be a free kick here. There's a push in the contest, and it's going to go the way of the Giants, and Riccardi wins the free kick. 2 minutes to play in the third term. Riccardi, his Giants are down by 26. It's a terrible kick out near the boundary. It is gathered and kept in, though. Long with the kick inside. It was Brander who popped it up. De Boer works hard underneath. And then Peetling onto it. He hooks it at goal and finds the targets. Not quite the exuberant celebration that was there when he kicked his first back in the opening term.
It narrows the margin to 20 points. 12-74 to the Lions, 14-10-94. AFL Nation for Tyre Power and McDonald's.
We can even see the visual there, the difference between the first quarter and now. Every time that ball went to a contest in the Giants forward line in the first quarter, there was a swarm of orange jumpers around that contest. This time there was only one, and it was Peatling. He did a really good job just to get onto the ground ball. A couple of little side steps. He's got some real good agility, James Peatling. He's kicked 3 goals again today from 10 disposals for safety steel sheds. Really like his game.
Yeah, it's been great. The reaction to that was slightly disappointing, I reckon.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
They cut it back to 20. They're right in the game on the scoreboard, and yet there was not the slightest bit of energy or excitement about it. It's a warm day. We know that. They're still in the contest. They go forward again. Coleman gets the footy, almost intercepted by Toby Green. There may have just been a bit of holding after it from Peatling. And the free kick will go to Coleman inside his defensive 50. Another goal here in the dying stages of the third quarter for the Giants will just add a bit of interest to it. Going into the last term, Coleman long and strong down the line. Brander can't mark, intercepted by Lyons. Brander gets the crumb back, then dispossessed. Lyons stayed in the contest, gave it to Neal. Thought about a couple of things before he got rid of it in the end. It was a poor kick, and Himmelberg cuts it off at half-back. Have they got one more in them in the run to three-quarter time? He plays on, driving ball up towards half-forward. Pack fly, no mark. Green got hands on it. Gardner stands up, pirouettes out of the contest, gets it to Neal. High ball up towards half-forward. Good use of the body by McCarthy. Couldn't mark. Grand level Lions with the crumb. Gets it to McStay around the body. He did have one open. It bounces past Keefe. McCarthy with a chance. Iden has to be good. Cameron goes in. Ball still to go. Cameron magnificent. Toe poke to himself. Gets it out to Berry. Around the body he goes. Hooks it too far through for a behind.
But the chances there, the Lions had a few more players in support than what I think Berry anticipated. He just slammed the ball on his boot then, Berry, but probably could have had a little bit more time and space just to find some of those free targets.
14-11-95 to 12-74. Victoria Police Assistance Line scoreboard.
He's going to kick a couple of goals to Peck Neal for the best on ground for Henley Holmes. Build with confidence. They each have a goal, and they've been going just about possession for possession. The long kick in. Berry got hold of it, fed it out the back, but time will beat the play. And the Lions, with a 5-2 third term, will turn for home 25 points up. 14-11-95 to the Giants, 12-74. Multiple goal kickers. McCarthy has 3. Robertson and McStay have 2 each. While Toby Green and James Peatling have 3 each for the Giants. Down the highway, it is Geelong by 24 points over Adelaide at three-quarter time for Kangan Institute 13 TAFE. AFL Nation, it's the Lions by 21. For Tyre Power, buy 3, get 1 free on selected Vulcan tyres, and McDonald's, score 20% off your order when you spend $10 or more.
That quarter on AFL Nation was for Mate Internet and Mobile, Australia's most satisfied NBN customers. Internet from $59.
Sustained performance in footy is more than just one great game. It's about playing consistently, game after game, season after season. Host Plus delivers strong performance over the long term, with top returns over 20 years. A top-performing super fund over the long term, that's a plus.
Super Ratings SR50 Balanced Index, December 2021. General advice only. Consider the relevant Host Plus PDS at TMD at hostplus.com.au before deciding if Host Plus is appropriate for you. Past performance is not a reliable indicator of future performance.
Search, compare Host Plus today.
Are you game ready? Your local Sports Power store is supporting local footy clubs and players with everything you're going to need for the footy season ahead. With a great range of boots, footwear, balls, training and protective gear from all the big brands like Adidas, Asics, Nike, Puma, New Balance, Sharon and Shock Doctor. So if you want to get game ready, get into your local Sports Power store and check them out. Find your nearest Sports Power store at sportspower.com.au.
We're your local experts, Sports Power.
Hi, it's Adam Liao. Australian Made Week kicks off on the 6th of June, and it's time to celebrate and support our local makers and growers all around the country. Buying Aussie products with the Australian Made logo helps boost our economy, supports local business and creates jobs right across Australia. So, look for the famous green and gold logo and buy something genuinely Aussie this Australian Made Week. Because Australian Made makes Australia.
Wow. So if you cast your eyes over here, you'll find the heart of the Milky Way. Oh, it's looking superb on this crisp winter night and in one of the darkest skies on Earth. Now, who wants to see the rings of Saturn?
If this is what stargazing along the Murray River sounds like, imagine how it feels. River Murray Dark Sky Reserve. Perfect for those who want a little more. South Australia. Rewards wonder.
Hi, it's Will Davison, supercar driver and two-time Bathurst winner. If you're a builder, you need the correct insurance. It's easy with IMAR. They offer instant cover, no paperwork, competitive monthly premiums at no additional cost. Plus, IMAR provide fast and fair claim settlements. Like the sound of that? Then call an expert now on 13IMAR. That's 134627 and make sure you're with the winning team. Get a quote, get covered, get working.
They're the trades, mate. That's IMAR.
JH Market is your one-stop shop for all your lighting and electrical needs. Sparkies will find the cheapest trade prices guaranteed, like 10-watt LED downlights for only $5.29 each. Make the switch to JH Market. Call 1300 000 808 or visit jh.market today.
To amplify results, performance must be measured. Musashi works with professional athletes, optimizing athletic performance through sports nutrition for all levels of athletes. Musashi, delivering the fuel you need to amplify speed, power, and focus for your sport. Musashi, performance amplified.
With the price of building products going up and supply hard to come by, builders must be worried how they'll finish the next job. So don't wait for building materials to arrive while prices keep going up. Go Steel. Steel Frame Solutions can have your single-story project delivered to site within 6 weeks. Their steel frames won't rot, warp, and are termite resistant. And the best part? You can lock in your price and timing and get back to work. steelframesolutions.com.au.
If you're running your own business, you're an all-in-one kind of person. You're the CEO, the marketing director, and the bookkeeper. The buck stops with you. Makes sense then that you should use a payment solution that helps make getting paid easier. Easy Debit is the all-in-one payment solution. Whether it's direct debit for recurring or subscription payments, BPay for invoicing, FPOS, phone or online payments. When it comes to dollars, it just makes sense. Easy Debit. Payments done in one. Search EZI Debit today.
You're listening to the 2022 Premiership season on AFL Nation. For Beaumont Tiles, hybrid flooring in-store now. Maccas, I'm loving it moments. Order via the My Maccas app and start earning today.
The Brisbane Lions are about to lead for the first time this afternoon. McStay from point blank range puts them in front.
Now thrusts it high to the top of the square. Who can jump? Cameron was ambitious. Rayner hits it at ground level and Rayner kicks the goal.
Lands it at the hot spot. Get after that. Hipwood worked off it. Brander comes through, stripped of the ball. Robertson sold the shimmy, did the pirouette, snapped the goal. Superb forward craft for his second.
Brisbane in towards Starcich. He can have a go here from 51. He has a look, he has a go, and he puts through another one.
I'm loving it moments for Maccas. Score 20% off when your order is $10 or more. 21 points, the Lions lead it. Brenton Sanderson.
Yeah, the work rate and belief is really noticeable here for Brisbane, and when they dialed up the pressure, the Giants just haven't been able to match it.
That opening bounce for tyre power, buy 3, get 1 free on selected Falcon tyres.
Flynn is trying everything to get the clearance for the Giants. He's ended up on top of the ball. He's tackled, and rather unfortunately, he goes holding the ball. Neal with a hand pass to Rayner. He sends the Lions inside 50 first. Hipwood got rid of his opponent, couldn't take the mark. Bailey a rare fumble inside the forward 50. Cumming tried to clear the air, kicked it straight to Archie, who snapped it through for a behind. And the lead is 22 points. The scoreboard in this final term, thanks to Brighton Homes.
They've had a couple of blokes today who have been a bit off, haven't they, Sando? Rich has been a bit off. Yes. Bailey's been a bit off. Sorko's been a bit off.
Yep.
So they can be better than this, the Brisbane Lions. We know that. What have they got in store for us in this final quarter? Adams to Berry, who's been prolific, tried to get it back to Adams, did so. Bruin wraps him up. Adams strong enough to get the handball away, but He sought the sanctuary of the boundary line, and the umpire pinged him thus. Tanner Bruin with the free kick. Out of sight of the ground. Beautiful day here in Brisbane. 22 points the margin. AFL Nation for Tyre Power and McDonald's. Bruin up towards half forward. Riccardi jumped, couldn't mark. Neil runs into the Perryman tackle, got rid of it. Rich working hard at ground level, threads the handball out to Berry. And now he sets Adams free. Got a bit of time and space. Should hit the target and does as McStay comes up 2 kicks away from goal. Plays on the lefty. Goes in towards centre half forward, but Ash was reading that as the kick went looking for Charlie Cameron. Lucky Ash takes the mark and looks to go backwards to Isaac Cumming. He takes the mark. His kick was poor. He made Iden work for it. Got it on the half volley neatly. Did nicely. Goes into Cumming, who takes the mark.
Cumming plays it to centre half back as the Giants are searching for the way out. O'Halloran has footy in hand. Cornelio, the space should open up right through the middle of the ground for him as he marks and plays on. He wobbled it up inside the 50. Toby Green brought it to ground, gathers, snaps at the goal front. He got a big piece of it, and Toby's kicked his 4th. Extreme skill in that. Not fully appreciated, I don't think, by the Gabba crowd, but it's a high bar for the goal of the day today, and that is in the conversation for Host Plus. That's a plus. It cuts the margin to 16 points, 14-12 to 13-2.
You're right, Jared. This is a hard kick. This is a snap from about 46, 47 metres out. There's so much power behind that, and he sort of looked at it after he kicked it like, have I got enough here on it? But he's a good player. He's so balanced. His ability to go from an aerial contest to then hunt a ground ball, and just the poise to be able to just snap that around his body from so far out is excellent. And 16 points. Where's the belief?
Oh, exactly. They've kicked the last 2 of the game here, and the scoreboard says they're right back in it. Their body language would suggest they don't quite believe it. Berry wrapped up by Perryman, comes out to Neil. He's wrapped up by Flynn. They're under pressure. McInerney handballs into space. Giants come at it hard off half-back. It's Toby Green again, wrapped up by Berry. And we're in the middle of the ground. We'll have a ball up.
Berry's been excellent today.
Yes.
Tackle pressure, found plenty of the footy, goal kicker, clearance work.
Flynn, McInerney, whistle, hold, and O'Halloran wanted to go, but it was going the other way, and it's Jared Lyons with the free kick, goes up towards half forward. Berry got ahead of the footy, runs to 49, has a go. He's had one of those days, and he hits the post. He hits the post. 14-13, 97 Brisbane. 14-13, 97. 13-280 Greater Western Sydney Giants on the Brighton home scoreboard.
Coming with the kick in. He clears the defensive area. Big fly from Hogan. Andrews taken it just off his hands and been paid the intercept mark.
It's been quietly good today too, Andrews again. Such a good key defender.
Into Zorko. Zorko winds it up. He's kicked for the lead of Cameron. He arrived to make the spoil. Hipwood trying to do the crumbing. Himmelberg kept him off it. Berry knocked to ground, released the hand pass. It's out of play. Sanderson, our expert this afternoon for buymystock.com.au. The Lions in attack at the boundary throw-in for Snaffle. Buy now with bite-sized payments. Huge win at the throw-in. Flynn won the tap. Fort, though, had a hand in at the second attempt. Perryman was able to work it away to Kelly. High ball on the way out from the Giants. McInerney was well set. And he should give the Lions a look at a repeat entry. Hand passes to Rich. He checked his kick. It's going to land in the pocket. Cameron went up early. Fort stayed down and played crummer. His kick was smothered by Ash. Neil right against the boundary. No room to create. Throw it in again.
Just Oscar McInerney today. 35 hitouts for safety seal sheds. Matt Flynn with only the 13. So McInerney clearly on top, and he's really given the Brisbane Lions midfielders best opportunity here to clear the ball out of stoppage. It's been great.
Ford will have a go against Flynn. It comes to Berry. Wrapped up by Tom Green. High ball. Keith had to mark that. It would have been uncontested. Double-handed fist instead. Picked up by Neil around the body. And he makes Lockie Keith pay. Magnificent finish. That's his second. And they answer the early goal from Toby at the other end. And they just steady the margin. 15-13, 103. They're out to 23 over the Giants. 13-280. On the Brighton home scoreboard.
It's a ding-dong battle for the player of the day, Sando, for Henley Holmes. Build with confidence.
Yeah, is it ever? And Lockie Neal, that's his 35th disposal today for safety still sheds. Put that against 6 tackles, 7 clearances, 120 fantasy points. Andy to this point, and we're only a couple of minutes into the last quarter, so he's set for an absolute monster of a game. But he's got some teammates that have been good as well. Berry's been very good. McInerney, I talked about the ruckman. There's been some really influential players in this game today.
He's come to the bench, ripped off the boot and the sock. He's got a blister, Rafael Nadal style. Get that all tidied up for Snaffle bite-sized payments win. Bounce in the middle. Flynn won the tap. Perryman hunts the footy. He's got pressure from all angles. He's held up. He managed to get it to his boot to avoid the hole in the ball call. Rich ferrets underneath. Won the footy. Lyons with a hand pass. McInerney had a hand in it, Robertson as well. Now the kick comes from Robertson. Fort brought it to ground rather cleverly. Keith, though, was a neat touch in defence, and there were plenty there to help him out. Ash works it away to Himmelberg. Kick out to half-back for Cornelio. The Lions look to run through the middle. Hand pass to Tom Green. He worked it onto De Boer. Kick inside. Toby Green came out. Coleman the other way. Brave stuff from both. Starcevic took it. Hogan wrapped him up. Pinned an arm. How the umpire sets as a ball up. Left full forward. Coleman's just hobbling in the aftermath of that.
Toby Corky.
At 23, McInerney toppled over the pack as he won the tap down to Pryor. Out to Zorko, hand pass to Bailey, laid back on the kick down the wing. Good body work from Taylor to win it right back for the Giants.
He's a terrific play. Goes short to Weir. Centre wing outer side of the ground. Runs through it now, the lefty. Drives it to the top of the square. 20 out from goal. Hogan can't mark. Peatling, lovely hands the crumb. Gets it to Sprout. Pretty good around goal. And he just pulls it across the face and through from behind. Lovely take from Peatling. 15-13, 103 Brisbane. 13-3, 81 the Greater Western Sydney Giants. Brighton home scoreboard. We've been going 8 into the final quarter on the Makita Rule the Outdoors clock.
Cats now by 43, dominating the final term against the Crows, who got a couple of injuries late in that third term. Rich kicks it into Adams. He's kicked that out on the full, I fancy. It's not great stuff from Marcus.
He's kicked poorly today, actually, Adams. He's had some real clangers, but he's not in the side for his skills and for his defensive attributes.
Keith at the restart into Cornelio, left half forward, or between the wing and left half forward for the Giants. Cornelio with the shallow ball against the boundary, low percentage. Sproul well spoiled by Adams. Yes, there's the brute force. Much more than the deft touch. Throw it in. 28 scoring shots to 16. A 22-point lead for the Lions. Hoiked into play. McInerney rack him up for another tap. Cornelio chases after it. Robertson wears him close. Cornelio released the hand pass. Well gathered by Weir. Brings it inboards. Got it back from Brander. Got his kick across the attacking 50. Hogan hooks it down, hoping that Ash can create something of it. He'll give some ground. Brander over to Iden. Sweeps the hand pass inside 50. Hogan knocked it on. It was quite a good play, but the snap at goal from Peatling was just away to the right. He has kicked 3 goals too. They're down by 21.
Rich to bring it back into play. It's 1 goal apiece this quarter. Pyrotechnics of that opening term have abated. Brisbane 3 in the second, 5 in the third. It was a good mark from Pryor, who's done some nice things today. Short to Bailey, not the 15. And then unfortunately for Brander, who did close him down well, the first tackle was a bit high. And Zach Bailey at half back will look to progress the Brisbane Lions. That's what he does. Up towards half forward driving drop punt. And McStay just got Taylor off the line of the ball. Nice one-on-one win from the lefty. He swings around, drives it in towards McInerney. Couldn't mark Iden, the crumb. Flips it over the top to Weir. He runs to halfback, neat left footer, down the line, 2v1 however. McStay gets it back to Answorth, drives it back inside forward 50, 2v1, McInerney, third bite, takes the mark. Umpire said no, play on. Maybe he's played the mark and McInerney didn't hear it. I'm not sure who he flipped it out to in the end. I think it might have been Rayner who kicks it out of bounds on the full, hits the post across the face of goal, and it'll be a free kick to the Giants. I'm not sure what Oscar was thinking then.
He was just wandering around, wasn't he? No one tackled him.
They're a funny breed, aren't they?
Yep.
Kick into Kelly, who plays it out the far side. He set it up high, and it's a neat juggling mark taken by Hogan. He was set a bit of a task, and he was more than equal to it. Just guides with a perfectly weighted ball for Ash. It had to clear Fort and landed with Ash. Inboard with his kick. Tom Green dropped the mark, and he's got to turn away from Pryor, which he does. Tom Green sets the Giants inside 50. Adams from the side put himself in harm's way. There was carnage. Toby Green and Starcevic are both the worst for wear in the aftermath of it. It's tied up for a bounce adjacent to them, and teammates come in to peel the bodies up off the turf.
Yeah, there might have been 3 players in that collision that were all hurt. Starcevic, Green, Adams, all just fearless, all 3 of them.
Toby Green's, he's the worst out of it here. He's either been really badly winded. I think that's all it is, but
brave souls in there on the replay for Easy Debit. Join Easy Debit today.
You can say that again.
Up she goes. Bailey wanted away at the source. Hand pass didn't amount to anything, though, as Archie was wrapped up the moment it arrived. So 50 out from the Giants' goal. So we get another look at the replay. The ball slews away from the stoppage and trickles out of play. Toby Green he's nursing his rattled bones.
All sorts of internal reactions to what he put himself in the middle of there. You can say what you like about him, but when it's his time to go, he goes. Flynn, ground level, try to get it to Tom Green. Green flips it back to Bruin, and that's a high tackle to Peatling against Answorth. And Peatling will think about lining up his 4th here. Instead, he comes inboard. It would have been from the boundary line, so he goes back to Cumming, who marks 65 out from goal. Short ball, the lead provided. Starcevic just a little after. And it's Kelly who marks right on his range, you suspect.
Some of these Giants midfielders been a little bit quiet after quarter time. I mean, Kelly's probably been the standout midfielder with 24 disposals, but just hasn't had the run that they had in the first quarter, unfortunately, the Giants.
Kicked a beautiful running goal early in the game, Josh Kelly. Kicks from 51. It's a nice-looking kick off the boot. It's on line, and it's got the length, and that's a lovely strike. So Kelly kicks his second. The Giants get their second of the quarter, and they stay within reach. It's only 15 points the margin. 15-13, 103 to 14-4, 88.
Probably the reason that Kelly hasn't stood out for as much for me today, he's had a lot of handballs. He had 17 handballs today, and that was his 8th kick, but it was a really nice set-up play here. Cummings has the ability just to lower his eyes. Kelly on the stop-and-go lead. He's a beautiful set shot. That's his 2nd goal. Kicked an absolute ripper in the first quarter to get the Giants really rolling. They're still in touch. There's still plenty of time. There's still plenty of time. I know I said to you before, Andy, maybe the Giants feel what we're seeing, but we feel that the Lions have got their measure, but they're in touch.
Absolutely they are.
The next goal puts us in cheap thrill territory.
Yep.
It's 15 points right now, and there's 10 minutes and 40 seconds to go on the Makita Rule the Outdoors clock. Thumped into the turf. Fort goes up, spikes the ball down. Robertson, there's a free kick from the out-of-zone umpire going Robertson's way. He's kicked a couple of goals, Devon Robertson. Little feature on the highlight reel. He uses it very short for Zorko. It wasn't 15, and so it turns over on the tackle. Toby Green releases Broon, who's on the burst. He has a bounce. He kicks to an unguarded goal. He needs a bounce. He almost got it.
Blimey.
Oh, it's pitched and darted back at the goal front, and Harris Andrews has flung a boot at it to get it through for a rush behind. We were so close to cheap thrill territory. It's 14 points.
Not done yet, Jared.
Just want to see the body language change, though.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. So Coleman drives it out of defensive 50. Himmelberg goes up, can't mark. Ball to be won at ground level. Neal wrapped up by Kelly, got his kick away just in time. Bounce it up towards Hipwood at half forward. Keefe with him. Dispossessed. McStay gets the handball away as he was being tackled. Ball to be run. Robertson goes over the top room. Archie gets the crumb. Time and space to get around Keefe. Inside forward 50. McCarthy drops the mark he might have taken. Now it's in the path of Hipwood. Can he gather? Has to lurch down. Tries to find a handball over the top. Weir wrapped up by Rayner. And the right arm of Rayner went over the shoulder. And young Jacob Weir will win the free kick. Inside defensive 50.
Just love to see him go here. Take the game on. Look for some overlap run and carry.
Steady goes wide and into the halfback flank pocket region. Taylor looks to move it a bit quicker. Brander just the required. Something to sweep, and Brander goes all the way back to the defensive goal square. Now the switch has got to be quick. Unfortunately, it's not. They come back this side coming, and they've conceded about 40 metres, and they've let Brisbane set it up now. Cummings' kick was good. Into Kelly, however, it's sent half back. Now he goes long and strong, driving ball into a one-on-one. Great hands from Hogan in front of Gardner. Can he move it quickly? Wants someone to run into some space. Goes short. The lead's provided by Peatling. He's been good today. Pokes it into some space, but going back bravely was Adams, and he takes a very good defensive mark as Sproul came to meet the footy.
Not for the first time in this final term. Adams is in harm's way, and he does his job well. Out to Neal and now to Lyons. It's Brisbane's turn to go slow. They're protecting a 14-point lead with 8 minutes to play. Rayner works ahead of the mark to be the next link. They are huffed and puffed, all of them. Down the line goes Rayner to a contest, and it's well met from the side by Iden to keep it out of the clutches of Archie, and it is over the boundary.
Teams do prepare for these moments, though. So Brisbane now holding that 14-point lead. They would have talked about this throughout the season. How do we just control the tempo in this final 8 minutes? We don't want to try anything too risky here. Just maintain possession.
Fort and Sproul go to work. O'Halloran backed himself, comes spinning through, release the hand pass to Tom Green, kicks the Giants inside 50. Toby's the target, knocked away from him. They fight on underneath. Peatling's brought down in a two-man tackle. It'll be balled up.
They won't mind stoppage either, Brisbane. Just take the speed out of the game. Don't give Giants a chance to get some overlap running.
Flynn the tens. Fort wins the tap. Peatling underneath, trying to muscle his way through. He knocked it down to Fort. O'Halloran lent a good hand, but Neal is onto the ricochet. He clears across the face of defensive goal well, and Pryor takes the mark.
Yeah, good heads-up footy from Neal. Pryor takes his time. Continues to go long and strong down the outer side of the ground. 2v2. Up goes Robertson, who's played a real game today. Takes a terrific mark. Handball into the path now of Coleman, who's got a bit of space out the back. He's got one on. It's a beautiful kick to Bailey. No one else had a chance. He dropped it into the spot that Zach Bailey was going to run onto. And it's a magnificent kick. And Bailey will go back and to kick his second goal of the game.
You said it all day, Andy, how much you love his kick, and that was just perfectly weighted. It was almost like a quarterback throwing over to a wide receiver.
It was.
Weighted it perfectly.
Such a natural kick of the footy, Coleman. So Bailey from about 30 out, just worse than a 45-degree angle, right side for the right footer. And it's been one of those days for Zach Bailey. He pushes it across the face and through for a ball, and that could have been telling. Keeps the Giants in the game. 15-14, 104 to 14-5, 89. scoreboard for Brighton Holmes.
Coming. He won't go deep up the middle. It's a good kick up the channel, though, for Kelly. And on the run, on the fly, coming by is Coming. So from half back, it's a dipping ball to half forward. It takes a very awkward bounce, and Archie is able to run onto it. Gave it to Gardner, and then on to Rayner. Kicks the Lions to halfway. McStay. It bounced off him. Taylor on the turnover. Releases O'Halloran, who's been busy in this final term. Kick up to half forward. Bobby Hill looks for the targets. He's gone for Hogan, and he found him in the mismatch with Coleman.
Yeah, good play.
Cumming went to unload the running barrel then.
Yeah, he did. He's fought on pretty hard, Hogan. Like, he hasn't had his best day, but he's kept providing the aerial contest there. He's been supported by Sprout today, but it's been the target player inside 50, Jesse Hogan.
Kick to goal in the third term. Jesse Hogan, angle to the right, not severe. Right foot drop, punts.
Got it.
Makes it single figures. It's a 9-point deficit as Hogan gives the Giants a look. 15-5-95 to the Lions, 15-14-104. Brighton Holmes discovered today why it's better to build with Brighton Holmes. There's 5:20 to go.
Yeah, and most of the day they've just dumped the ball top of the goal square, the Giants, but this one, Hill, really good, just good poise to scan the field, saw the mismatch. Hogan one-on-one with Coleman, just lent on his opponent, and really important goal. 9 points, still plenty of time on the clock. They just need the belief here, the Giants. Just keep going, just keep taking the game on, look for opportunities to score from turnover. And this has been their strength all day. The one area of the game they've dominated has been centre bounce, so here we go.
Brenton Sanderson for buymystock.com.au. Good on the Giants for sticking at this. Ford drops it down to Neil. Decisive takeaway. Has a bounce over the top to his mate Berry. They've had plenty of it together today. Berry runs onto the footy. Tom Green closes him down. Up towards the top of the square. Must defend here. McCarthy picks it up and dribbles it through and kicks his fourth. And what an answer that is from the home side. Not desperately needed, but very, very handy in the circumstances. 16-14, 110 Brisbane, 15-5, 95 the Giants. Brighton Holmes discovered today why it's better to build with Brighton Holmes scoreboard.
They might have just settled the votes, you know. Neil to Berry to McCarthy.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And only 30 seconds ago I said how much the Giants needed that centre bounce clearance, and it's been a strength of theirs all day. One of the most disappointing things as a coach is when you see a player have a bounce out of a centre square clearance. And then Darcy Ford jumps up there, knocks it down to Lachie Neale, who has time and space to have a bounce and handball over the top to Jared Berry. So that's really disappointing for the Giants. At a moment when they really needed a centre bounce clearance, there was no pressure at all.
It's a textbook Easy Debit replay. Join Easy Debit today. Flynn fights hard for the ball in the middle, but Rayner pinches it from him. He goes on a bouncing run as well. He sends the Lions not as deep as he might have liked. It's out in front of Hipwood. Taylor slides in, can't complete the mark. Ash is onto the loose ball. The give and go with O'Halloran. Ash out of half-back. He wants something down the line. He couldn't quite find Peatling. Ball in dispute. Perryman came through manfully. Hand passed it forward to De Boer. He linked it up with Peatling. Stopped, propped and kicked it for Hogan in the channel. And now again, Jesse's got a set shot to bring it inside single figures.
We're finishing the way we started.
Yes.
Yeah. Onslaught. Offense.
A little further out than the previous. No angle to negotiate this time. As Hogan got it in him again from 48, he does not. As he hooks the ball near side and through for a behind. Lions by 14. AFL Nation for Tyre Power and McDonald's.
We still might get two sides kicking over 100 points though, which is would be 2 days in a row. But
so Rich drives it out to the members' side of the ground. Keefe with the big spoil over the top of McInerney. Underhand hand pass to O'Halloran, who gathered the footy, was wrapped up straight away. Adams gets the handball over the top. Zorko. He manages to get a kick around the body and down the line. Gathers about 40 metres in the end. Ash goes back and gets it for GWS. Cuts inboard Berry, then runs into a roadblock. Lyons it was. He was poised enough to come back to Iden, who was on his own, providing the outlet back inboard to Cornelio. They've got to go quick. They need one the next 45 seconds to give themselves any chance, you'd think. Green in the middle of the Gabba. Long ball inside forward 50, but it's only Lyons down there. And Harris Andrews stands tall and takes an uncontested defensive mark.
It was just a fraction too easy. Kick for Robertson, who clears the defensive area for Pryor. Pryor with footy in hands. And the Lions, the clock is their ally inside the 3-minute mark. Pryor takes the territory against the boundary. Up to the contests. It ricochets the way of Robertson after the spoil, and he kicks for a wide open setup at the 50. Bouncing ball. Iden met it first, and he paddled it backward to Keith, who stood against the pressure of Hipwood and found Flynn on the way out. And the Giants created that wheel from defence.
Flynn's battled away today against a couple of big bodies. Andrews can't mark down the line. Brings it to the front, however. Gardner's handball went through the hands of Pryor. Andrews was there, wrapped up by Kelly. Lucky to get away with that. Gardner was just run through by Brander. And I think a bit of Brander's right leg might have taken Darcy Gardner high here. And slow to get back to his feet. That he does. Umpire no regard at all for bringing him back behind the mark, so he just happy to let him wander off the line. And down the line he goes. High ball, slow ball, looking for McStay. Pryor. Ball batted down by Taylor. Hogan, handball around the body, looks for Tom Green. Under real pressure. The handball from Green was terrific. He wore one from Pryor, who's been willing today. Quite happy to throw his body around the young line. Involved in a minor skirmish or two along the way. Tom Green will, however, at the end of it all, win the free kick. Short he goes. Looks for Hogan, who marks. Somebody went over the top of his leg there and he felt for it, but he's okay. 2 kicks away from home. Want someone to move for him down the line. In the end, he goes long and strong, just inside forward 50. Andrews again had that under control. A long way from home, went up with a big fist with the left hand, knew exactly what he was doing, spiked it over the boundary line, and out of bounds it goes. Brisbane 16-14, 110. The Giants 15-6, 96. The final stages. All the numbers on the Brighton Homes scoreboard.
Cats have won by 42 down the highway as the final siren sounds. There's a free kick in Ruck Lotto, and it's going McInerney's way. So 15-7, 97 Geelong defeat Adelaide 7-13, 55.
I like his game today, McInerney. He's been really good.
Yeah. Free kicks neatly 19 apiece at the Gabba. McInerney nurses the kick down the line. Off hands in the marking contest. Kelly missed whatever hand pass he was looking for, and it's gone straight out of bounds. Where will we be at the end of this quarter? 33. Yes.
You're pretty tight.
It will. Just 5 minutes or so to wrap it all up once the siren sound. Lions gets taken to ground at the stoppage. The gas has come right out of this on a warm afternoon in Brisbane. High octane at the start. The Lions just muscled their way clear the further that we went. Cornelio tapped it onto his boot. Kelly tried to paddle it clear of the stoppage. Couldn't. McInerney got trapped over it. And then Cumming has it between his legs. So Chris Fagan just says goodbye to the box and pops the headset down. The job is almost complete. Flynn, neat tap out over his head to Cornelio, who was waiting for it. Flings it up inside the 50. Answorth made the spoil to the side of the pack, and it's all the way to the boundary. Tom Stewart had 40 disposals, 17 intercepts, 874 metres gained, and 177 ranking points. That is one of the great defenders' games of all time.
Probably played on no one again. We're not taking anything away from him, but it's amazing how often he can do it on his own terms down there.
At the throw in inside the 50 for the Giants. Peatling got hold of it, got it onto his boot. Kelly hand passes it around to Perryman, lobs it up to the hot spot. Toby Green flew, it just eluded him. Gardner got it onto the boot, cleared the defensive area. And that's as far as we'll go at the Gabba, where the home team win. The Lions return to the winners' lists. They got jumped early, they steadied up and methodically drew away. The final margin is 14 points. To the Giants' credit, they wouldn't be totally drops. They couldn't quite match Motors at the end. 16-14, 110 Brisbane. To the Giants, 15-6, 96. Giants led by 12 at quarter time, 3 at half time. The Lions by 21 at three-quarter time and 14 at the close. The final score, need Victoria Police, but not the Sirens. Call the police assistance line, 131 444, 16-14, 110 Brisbane over the Giants, 15-6, 96. Link McCarthy booted 4 for the winners, 2 for Robertson, Neal and McStay, with singles to Berry, Rayner, Cameron, Hipwood, Bailey and Starcevic. Toby Green booted 4, Peatling 3, Kelly and Hogan 2 each, with singles to Cornelio, Riccardi, Flynn and Hill. We'll slip straight into post-game mode for Thirsty Camel Bottle Shops. Answer the Camel's call, Thirsty Camel Bottle Shops. Just give us a snapshot of your thoughts, Brenton Sanderson.
I just love the work rate and the belief of that Brisbane Lions team. Exactly what you said, Jared. They were really tested early. The Giants jumped them. Defensively, they were excellent. They scored from turnover, the Giants, in that first quarter, and the Brisbane Lions just got the game back in their control. They dialed up pressure, they dialed up intensity, and unfortunately the Giants couldn't match it for 4 quarters. Some positive signs there still for the Giants. I like Peatling, Cumming, Kelly, Himmelberg. There's some really polished displays there from that Giants team, but unfortunately what the message they'll hear from McVeigh is near enough is not good enough. We've got to make sure that we finish those games off, and that was a fantastic first quarter. That's the template. You've just got to replicate that for longer. But yeah, I'm always impressed when I see the Brisbane Lions play. 15 marks inside forward 50. They were excellent around the contest and ended up plus 30 with contested possessions. So it's a really good, well-balanced side, the Brisbane Lions. They're going to be really hard to beat this year.
We've got the player power rankings for Red Energy, owned by Snowy Hydro, a renewable energy leader.
Top 3, Neal 143, Berry 133, Kelly 120.
Hanger of the day, hangmytv.com.au, because that's what they do. The Gardner with the flight holds up. The tackler of the day for Toro. Count on Toro to get the job done. Jared Lyons laid 7 tackles to lead all comers. The injury update for safetyhq.com.au. Callan Ward looks like he came out of the game with a concussion after a knee to the side of the face. It was nasty. The coach of the day for TC Boxes, home for trays, canopies and toolboxes. Mark McVeigh showing a bit of what the Giants have got, so he's away through a couple of games. The goal of the game for Host Plus and Industry Super Fund for all Australians. Rich pickings here.
Robertson, I reckon, quarter 3.
Second
Beautiful.
one, Devon Robertson. Unmissable moments for Drinkwise. Choose to Drinkwise. You won't miss a moment if you Drinkwise. The highest scoring first quarter at the Gabba this century. The votes for AFL Nation's Player of the Year, thanks to Henley Homes. Henley Tradies, guaranteed to be paid on time every time.
Well, I think, Jared, you called it with a couple of minutes to go. I think Lincoln McCarthy, with his 4 goals, deserves a vote. He was excellent. Obviously 3 goals in the first quarter really set them up. Jared Berry, 33 disposals, 3 clearances, 1 goal, 2. He was everywhere today for the Brisbane Lions. Back in defence, working really hard and then pushing forward to help score. He kicked 1 goal, 2 as well. But the best player on the ground, and I'm sure we're going to hear his name read out for 3 Brownlow votes, but the best player on the ground, most influential, Neal, 39 disposals, 9 clearances, 2 goals, and got tagged by Perryman. So it's an incredible performance by that great Brisbane Lions player.
That's a whale of a game. 3-0 to Berry and 1 to McCarthy. Andy, the ladder for 40 Winks, say 50% at 40 Winks quick frenzy sale.
Yeah, Brisbane cement their spot second on the ladder. The Giants, they can't make it now. They're 3 games and a heap of percentage out of the top 8. So that's just about them done, I reckon.
Yep.
So I think Chris Fagan will have a bit to work with from the first quarter on defensive stability, and then I think he would have liked the rest of the game.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think there's plenty to like, and all we would just say is, boys, we can't flirt with our form. We've got to make sure we start the game how we finished. We know that our game plan stands up. We've just got to play it for 4 quarters against the good sides.
Well, every team has a flat spot in a season. This might be Brisbane's that they're going through at the moment.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
Lions by 14 points over the Giants. The post-game show for Thirsty Camel Bottle Shops. Answer the Camel's call, Thirsty Camel Bottle Shops, I should say. The MEGT Rookie of the Day, your local apprenticeship experts. We have to go Peatling. It's only his 8th game. I don't know whether technically he qualifies.
Well, he kicked no goals for his first 6 games, and he's kicked 6 in his last 2.
Well, you've always been the stickler for this.
Yeah,
We've tried to have a bit of flexibility. Yeah, good.
I'm wavering.
Thank you.
MEGT supporting employers and apprentices over 40 years. When we take calls, all they will be for Star 21. Discover the difference. The Lions by 14 over the Giants.